Okay. Anyway, welcome back. Welcome back, people, to the live. Bloody hell, got flagged for that. It's hella annoying. But hey, what you gonna do about it? Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you get it out there, guys, if you don't want to see some more debates. Also, for some reason, it wouldn't let me put dollars onto this little thing, but what that means is $10 to my PayPal. I'm trying to encourage people to donate to my PayPal more than just send Galaxy. So if you do want to kick a guess, please send $10 to my PayPal. My PayPal is in my bio. If you would like to kick a guest, I will have. Also you can send to my PayPal for whatever reason if you want to send a message, and I will definitely look at it. But I feel like, I don't know, trying to encourage people to do it that way. So thank you for the likes, appreciate it. All right, thank you for liking. Maybe you can specify Instagram. It won't let me put PayPal on. It won't let me put dollar signs. It won't let me put PayPal on there. Like, I honestly don't know what the fuck is wrong with this sticker. What I might do is I might try and write it in the background, because for some reason the sticker won't let me do that, which is really odd. I don't know why it won't let me do that. It's very odd. I know, like, it's really odd. Like, I honestly, I don't get why it does that. But I might try to do that, but for now, I'll just say that that's representing $10 to my PayPal for you to kick a guest. And I have my PayPal up here, so, like, if you send it, I'll be able to instantly see it. Yeah, I would say you can get your... Yeah, it won't let me do dollar signs either, which is dead annoying anyway, so... But what I might do is I might stick it in the back. I might stick it in the back so it's a little easier for you guys to know. But for now, we'll just deal with this until I fix the background. Yeah, I would, so you can get your... Yeah. What's up, everybody? Let's share, let's get it out there, guys. If you do want to see some debates, let's share. We were starting with good debates, and then I freaking got flagged, man. I freaking got flagged. Oh my gosh. WTF. Thank you for the share. Appreciate it. Oh, who do I have here? We might have a debate, guys. How old are you?
I'll be 24 in 4 days.
Oh, cool. Do you have an issue with the LGBTQIA plus community?
I don't have an issue with the LGBTQ. No.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
No,
base.
I'm part of the community actually.
Awesome. Well, I am just looking for opposition right now, but I do appreciate you for coming up.
All right, thank you for letting me up.
No worries, thank you. Only send a guest request if you do disagree. We are just looking for opposition right now. If you do have an issue with the LGBTQIA plus community, feel free to send a guest request and we can talk about it. Also, just to say while we're waiting, I don't know if any of you have seen my latest video, but I just posted it before I went live. Talking about how we should all be celebrating right now because Thailand has legalized same-sex marriage, which is great. This is historic. This is a beautiful moment. This is great. We should all celebrate because this is wonders for Asia. So I did a little video just paying homage. So I want everybody to go to that video and just W Thailand in the comments, because this is based like that. They are that is the first Southeast Eastern Asian country to now have marriage equality, and third overall underneath Nepal and Taiwan. So that made me really happy because I watch a lot of Thai BLs. I love Thailand. I love the cultures. So then to hear that, I was like, oh my god, like. And I think it's really good news for us to hear, because as we're up here and we're advocating and we're trying to get progression and we're trying to do wonders, like sometimes it can be a bit demoralizing when like we see nothing happening. And then when this happens, it's like, you know what? Hard work does pay off. When we are consistent, when we are persistent, and when we don't shut the fuck up, you know what we get? We get something like Thailand legalizing gay marriage. So everybody should be celebrating right now. This is amazing news. I'm happy. Y'all should be happy. W Thailand. What's up, Cyber? How are you? Hey, Cyber. I'm just saying how we should all celebrate Thailand in legalizing same-sex marriage. It is wonderful news to hear that. I am so happy. And you all should be happy that's part of the community, because this is amazing for Asia. So, yeah, I did a little video. Everyone should go there. Everyone should like it. Everyone should do W Thailand. Thailand needs all the love and support for it. Yeah. My issue is that I'm sick of hearing about it's almost as bad as the vegan people. Oh my god. Like, I mean, you know what we're tired of? Hearing straight people talk about how straight they are. That's what we're tired of. You know? I'm tired of seeing straight people walking down the street. I'm tired of seeing straight people in TV. I'm tired of people talking about how they're gonna hit up someone of the opposite sex. That's what I'm tired of. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm tired of. Tired of hearing gay people talk about how gay they are. And I'm tired of hearing how straight people are straight. Yeah, I'm tired of hearing how straight people are. I mean, like, you know, just saying. Just saying. Thank you. How old are you? How old are you, user? Are we here? Hello? Are you there? Sounds like you have bad network. Alright, well, no, this person is not sentient, so we're moving on, I guess. If you are there, send a guest request back. Otherwise, I don't know what's going on. Alright, let's see. Who do we have here? Oh, okay. That did not go through. Try again. I'm gonna ask, why do you guys keep adding letters? Oh my god. Why does it bother you so much? Like, to be honest, I don't understand. Since when did letters start offending people? Like that. It's like there are letters. Congratulations. Oh my god, there's too many letters. It's burning my eyes. I'm so offended. Like, what? Like, since when? Since when is what I'd like to know. Since you want to advocate, since you want to educate, speak on what? I'm here to have debates. All right. If you disagree with me, come up. We'll have a conversation. Or if you have a question, ask it. I'll answer. It bothers us because it's ridiculous and cringy. You know what I find cringy? Are the delusional Christians that preach on the sideway to pray the GAY way. Yeah, that I find super cringy and annoying, actually. Too many letters, you all keep adding the alphabet. I mean, like, you'll get offended by the tiniest things. You know, it's like... Ugh. Queer is like an umbrella term for people that are in the community. Yes, you guys do. If you do have an issue with the LGBTQIA plus community, feel free to send a guest request. We can have a talk about it. We can have a debate about it. Can't wait to hear your lovely thoughts. I'm sure it's going to be riveting, as always. Happy Pride Month! Absolutely happy Pride Month, everybody. I mean, I got flagged on Saturday for smoking. I didn't read that correctly. For promoting the LGBTQIA, but luckily it was. They flagged you for that? That's wild. Lord forbid straight people exist. Who's forbidding straight people to exist? Y'all dominate the world. Like, what? Happy Pride! I can share the live and get absolutely. See what we can do here. Yeah, TikTok does not like Pride, sadly. Yeah, TikTok. I don't have many words for TikTok to be honest. Not many. I'm straight. Congratulations. Find Christ. I'd rather not, actually. I'd rather not. They teach it to kids. I mean, if you mean they educate people on people who exist in the world, sure. All right, if you think that they teach them to be gay, you'd be entirely false with that, because that's not what happens at all. No issue with the LGBTQIA community. I respect when lots of friends. Okay, awesome. Based. Educating is teaching. No, yeah, but there's a difference. One is educating about the existence of these type of people. One is teaching them to be GAY, which nobody is teaching anyone to be GAY. This doesn't occur, doesn't exist. It's it's not possible. Given the fact that being GAY is not a choice, it's virtually impossible to teach anyone to be that, given that it is not a choice. And if that was a choice, then why hasn't conversion therapy ever worked? Answer me that. This is out to be. Oh my god. Yeah. You make up a lot of definitions to make it sound good. Education is teaching. Yeah, not to be that though, but about the fact that these people exist and they are valid. Two very different things. Two very different scenarios. It's a piece of what is? What is, Mike? What is? But child don't need to be taught, kind of like the rest of us found out and were cool. Yeah, children don't need to be taught about straight people, yet they are. So you're okay when they learn about straight identities. But the minute it becomes part of the LGBTQIA+, now you have an issue. Yeah, that's what we call discrimination. If I were gay, I would never join your left-wing socialist club. Well, the thing is you're not. Second of all, you have no idea what we stand for at all, clearly. Should I be gay? No. Oh my god. Listen, if you are not GAY, then you're not GAY. Then that's just not what you are. It's fine. I'm not gonna be here telling you to be something that you're not. Alright? If you are, then you're valid. And you deserve acceptance. And you deserve appreciation. Don't want to have a military excuse because they get 2 months. I know. It's ridiculous. If I hear that excuse one more time, I'm gonna lose it. Look, I think we should let kids alone. Yeah, we should just leave the kids alone to be isolated and miserable and feel like they have no one to turn to or no one to relate to because you want to push your heteronormative society onto them and force them to conform to what you think is normal. Yeah, let's do that. See how well that turns out for many, many LGBT youth. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure that's going to do wonders for their psyche. Yeah, that's what you're implying. That's what happens. Unfortunately, when you don't want it to be taught, what you are in theory doing is let's have the transgender LGBTQIA individuals be isolated and alone and have no one to turn to because you can't fathom that we want to teach inclusiveness. We want to teach acceptance. No, no, no. That to you is problematic. Yeah, because you don't really care about all kids. You care about the straight kids and the cis kids and what works for them. No, no, not anybody else, though. They are of no importance to you. We can't accept everything. Why not? Says who? There's no rule book that says we can't accept everything. That's bullshit. Like, that's really bullshit. What's up, wanna know? How are you? So many people have beef with... I don't know who that is. Thank you for the likes. You need to stop... Oh, man. There needs to be a limit. Why is it... Why does there need to be a limit? Who... Why? That, like, makes no sense to impose a limit. Like, the fuck? Only thing I don't agree with is trans people in UFC. Oh. Well, even that, it's a little up to debate because, you know, sports is inherently unfair. Hey, what's up? Wanna know how are you? Abby, if you're around later, I might talk with you, but I want to leave it open for people who I haven't spoken to first. Because we agree on most things. So should we not have age classification as well, since it's unfair anyways? What? Huh? That, like, I don't know, what? They are referring to sports. I'm not sure exactly what they're referring to. What's up, Rika? How are you? Don't act dumb. It's the same logic you use with trans people. I don't know what you're referring to. Like, what? Age classification with sports. But in what capacity? My issue is it's a gateway. What's up, Brandon? How are you? To adding the letter P to it. It's been the goal the entire time. Wait, what? God is good everywhere. Follow the word of Jesus. Oh my god. Yo, thank you, Social Purge, for resubscribing. Appreciate you. Men don't know what SA feels like. That's actually so false. Do you think that men don't get essayed? Like, that's actually so delusional. Wow. That's insane. Like, that is really destigmatizing. That's really, like, stigmatizing against men that actually do have SA. Okay? There are plenty of men that get essayed by men. There are plenty of men that get essayed by even women. So, like, that's just false. Absolutely false. Do you believe in God? No, I don't. It makes no sense A 6-year-old can't choose their gender. They don't choose it. They just are what they are. No one chooses their gender. They are born who they are. Sometimes it's in alignment with their assigned sex at birth. Sometimes it is not. Men's Mental Health Month. Listen, to all you people that want to come in and talk about men's mental health, you guys are a fucking bunch of hypocrites, okay? You don't care about men's mental health. I'm gonna tell you why you don't care about men's mental health. Because I do actually have a men's mental health topic. It's about men's vulnerability, and I've run it quite a few times this month. Where are you all when I run it? You're nowhere to be found. So you can preach to me about how much you want to talk about men's mental health, but when I actually do something about men's mental health, y'all are distant. So save me this I care about men's mental health. Because let's face it, you don't. You just want to use it as a way to fucking invalidate pride. And it's rather petty and pathetic. And just doesn't even work. So I mean, you people just, I don't think you know what you're talking about at all. Ugh. People are so hypocritical. It's not even funny. If you do disagree, feel free to send a guest request and we can talk about it. What's up, Amber? What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do you watch... No. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I care about it. My husband has been dealing with his depression for years. Well, I mean, I'm glad that if you actually care about it, but like, if you actually care about it, I don't know why are you not in my lives when I actually do a men's mental health topic. It just seems a little rich. You know, seems a little rich. We need to draw a line. Pride is for LGBT and non-binary only. Nobody is welcoming them in the community. Like, what the fuck? That is like super harmful misinformation. And doesn't even like what? That's like so like incorrect. They are not part of the community. They will never be part of the community. We condemn them just like the rest of them condemn them, right? We think that we don't condone it in any shape or form. So like, stop trying to claim that we are lumped together, because we're just not. Yeah, my accent's a blend between English and I think Canadian. Yeah. So it fluctuates. If I hang around British people, I'll sound more British. If I hang around with Canadian people, I'll start sounding more like Canadian. So it's a bit of a weird accent, I'm not gonna lie. It's a weird ass accent. They don't want religion in their face, but they put a lot of their stuff in everyone's face. What do they put? Like, you know, what's really funny is like you see us existing and then you say, oh, look, they're pushing it on us. Oh no, gay white people are existing. They're pushing it on us. Oh no, oh no, oh no. For real. Like, this is why it's absurd. This is why those types of opinions and arguments are just absurd. Because what you would really like for us is to just hide away and not be who we are. That's what you really mean. That's what you really mean. In other words, you don't want people to be who they are. Say it with your whole chest. It's true. That's what I don't want to follow Jesus. I mean, you Christians are just as bad. I mean, Because Jesus is. Don't even get me started on religion. Religion is just a bunch of nonsense. God doesn't exist. Religion is a bunch of nonsense. Proof. The fact that the world is incompatible with your description of God. Yeah, that's your proof. Right? Like, I know, right? And they talk about us being pushed. They talk about us pushing it on them. Do you not see the bunch of freaking pushy Christians in the chat? Pushing their religion onto us? Yeah, but we're the ones that are pushing it. We're the ones that are pushing an agenda. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. For sure. Do you see the people in the chat preaching about God? Are we for real? I mean, are we blind? How old are you?
82,
How old are you really?
42.
How old are you really?
I'm a Trump supporter. Come on, man.
Are you a troll?
No, I'm not a troll. I see these rainbow flags everywhere. I'm thinking, they're trying to take over my country, man. The last time I
Yeah.
seen them waving flags like that was 1940s, Germany.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you're a troll. You have to be a troll. Like there's just no fucking way. Sorry, you're just a troll. How old are you?
God is good.
And another troll.
God is good.
Yeah, keep drinking the liquor, my guy. How old are you?
Hello, I'm 19.
Birth year?
2005, May. Calculate.
Okay. So do you have an issue with the LGBTQIA plus community?
I have a specific issue with trans women in women's sports. Like, there's something I want to like discuss and digress and really get to, like how the inclusions have affected women.
Okay.
Okay, so for me personally, when it comes to trans and women's sports, as we can see, like for examples, like that one Leah Halton, swimmer ranked like 500 in men's best stroke, and
Do
then
you mean
ranked number
Leah? Do you
one.
mean Leah Thomas?
Sorry, Leah Thomas, like you know the controversy, I'm sure you're aware of like jumping up about a couple hundred spots their first year competing in women's sports. And I think that people need to really be realistic and understand you can identify as a woman, but your biology, as in your physical being, is not inherently male, right? XY chromosomes, so that male that turned into woman, because women, I know the difference between female, woman, male, man, because we know the social structure, whatever. I'm not denying whatever people want to think about themselves. What I don't understand is how people try to justify it by like the hormones, but hormones doesn't change your lung capacity, it doesn't change your breaststroke. We know since the beginning of time that males are inherently physically more capable than female born people. And I think that's just fair to
Doesn't mean
say.
that's happening. Did you see Leah Thomas's scores after the beginning?
Doesn't matter. So what? So you could honestly argue that they did a crappier job later. That doesn't mean anything. I'm talking about
Yeah, it does
inherently.
mean. It means that cis women can win against trans women just as fine. So like
No, it's not just as
there's an
fine.
idea that you could talk about like the physicality and how that potentially could give a biological
It's
advantage,
not
but that
potential.
becomes meaningless if you don't actually have any practical results or statistics to prove that that's what's occurring, right? Because you don't have any statistics to show that trans women are astronomically beaten cis women to a degree that we should be concerned about. All you're
Yes, we
doing is
do.
picking out
Everybody's
studies and
concerned about it.
theories of what potentially could occur, but it's not
No.
actually happening.
I have a question. Are men potentially stronger than you? Just potentially?
I mean, if you're talking about
should we
cis
do
women,
statistics? Should we
if
do
you're
statistics
talking
right now?
about cis women against, if you're talking about cis men against cis women, sure, in terms of athletics,
Oh,
but
why is it sure? But when it's trans women, it's not sure.
we also know that hormones significantly reduces strength in trans women. All right.
That's what I'm
So we
saying,
know
but
that
does it change your biology?
trans women are not in the same playing field as cis men.
But they're
The thing is,
still having an advantage. Doesn't matter.
yeah, they're the same
It's like,
capacity as some other cis women that could have advantages, right? So you're gonna disregard cis women that have a biological advantage?
no, I'm
It's
not gonna play
absurd.
this little victim
Sports
trick
are
with you. We're not gonna play this victim trick with you.
unfair. Yeah, sports are
Please don't
inherently
think that I'm
unfair.
those people that will actually sit here and play that victim trick. Oh, well, because are you saying cis women? No, I'm not gonna play that game with you. We know very
you
fact,
are.
and we
You
know.
are playing
Yes,
the
I'm
victim in
not.
terms of
Do
cis
you want the
women.
statistics? Because you'll very much get them. But the thing is, like, let's be realistic here. Somebody
Yeah,
that was
you're playing the
literally
victim
male.
of
I'm
cis
not. Can you
women.
not
You're saying
interrupt me,
for
please?
cis women,
Can you not
they have
interrupt
to
me, please?
suffer. They have to suffer because some trans women could win. You don't really care about trans women.
What do you mean
because
some?
the idea of any time a trans woman wins, it's absurd to you because they now have a biological advantage. When statistically, they're not
Statistically,
disproportionately
how
winning.
do you prove that? Show me your statistics that say that this is false. Since you want to talk about statistics,
The
you
fact that there's an
where are your
absence of
statistics?
statistics. There's an
What do you mean?
absence of statistics proving to me that trans women astronomically are winning more than
Because
cis
there's an
women.
absence
If
of
you could
trans
show
women
me,
because they're the
if you could
minority
show me those
population.
statistics,
Will you let
if you
anybody
show
else
me those
talk?
statistics, and it's proven that it's like considerably at a larger length, sure, but it's not happening. This isn't happening. Right?
It literally does
Right?
happen.
So there's
How do you go from
there's no
ranking?
lack of
Okay,
fairness
explain
in
the situation with
sports.
Leah. Explain the situation with Leah. How did they jump? If they perform fairly the same
Yeah,
in two
they
different
won
leagues,
at the
how?
beginning and then they lost.
I wonder why after all the backlash they suddenly lost. Like, you're not even,
Maybe
you want to talk about
because
statistics, but you're not even bringing
because
them.
they don't actually
You're
have
talking about opinion.
as
You're,
big of an advantage as you want to claim they do, right?
but how are
If
you
cis
talking
women
about
can win against them,
statistics? How are you talking about statistics and you're just talking from, oh, I just saw her lose a couple times. Does that not make you a hypocrite in your own words when you say, I only want concrete facts, but you don't have concrete facts that they don't have an advantage? You're just saying based on your visual observation
yeah, I
of
have
Leah
no
losing
statistics
again and again
that
and
tells
again.
me.
So
I
tell
have
me.
no statistics to tell me, okay, that trans women are beating cis women at a disproportionate astronomical level. Yeah.
How
All you
astronomical is that
have
about fair
to
advantages
go
or
on
not?
is what some studies may propose in terms of their biology, in terms of biological advantage, which is great.
And
as
that
a
doesn't
theory.
matter?
It
That
is
doesn't mean
great.
anything?
It is
That
great
doesn't
as a
ring any
theory.
bells?
It is great as a theory, but as we know,
And evolution's a theory. So what's your
doesn't
point?
matter
You just
unless
want to
it
minimize
doesn't
anything
matter
that
if
ruins
it
your
is not.
agenda. That's just what it
doesn't
is.
matter if it's not being transferred into reality. Okay?
It is reality when you see them
It's
on the
not
playing
reality
field.
because you have zero
When you
statistics
talk
to
about the
prove
trans,
this.
especially at track meets, high school, I can literally bring
You
all
have
these
zero
astronomical.
statistics to back up your position, and I think that it's absurd that you are crying about the
And
one
you have,
thing.
I'm not crying
the
about
one
anything. I
thing,
think it's true that trans women who are in women's sports do not have an equal playing field because of their male.
You need to stop talking when I'm talking.
So are you
can talk
so
about
is there a debate? You keep interrupting.
Stop talking. Stop
You don't
talking.
like debate. You keep interrupting.
Stop talking. My God, lady, take a breath. Okay.
You take one.
No, literally, you keep steamrolling, and it's honestly
You
it's
keep
really
interrupting.
annoying. Yeah, stop. I will actually remove you so that I can speak and bring you back up if you just don't just shut it. Okay? Even if for whatever reason, okay, that it turned out that trans women did have some kind of biological advantage, you're harping on about the one thing that cis women could potentially have a disadvantage over, instead of looking at all the other aspects of a trans woman's life that they are disadvantaged compared to a cis woman. The fact that they lack privilege, all right? The fact that you as a cis woman are entirely so privileged that you don't even fucking realize, but you're gonna harp on the one thing that it somewhat affects you. For one, trans women aren't trying to take anything away from you, right? I don't even think there is necessarily, but anyway, Artemis is going to go into deeper because Artemis is going to have a little bit more of an understanding and a science backing about how you were talking about this biological advantage is absolutely absurd. Take it away, Artemis.
Hi. Before I get interrupted twice. This has been unfair. Everybody, even I know you have like D1 fans here who support you no matter what, but even then they can understand that you interrupted me several times and you muted me. So before Artemis goes off, I'm going to say what I need to say. You saying, oh, trans women, doesn't negate from anything. That's like the biggest victim thing in the world. It's like saying because I'm a Black woman, I could say, well, I suffer racial issues. If I assaulted somebody, does that make the racism like you're just literally holding as a crutch? What does you bringing up the disadvantages that trans women have take away from the fact that trans women were dominating in this case, and that males typically, mostly, almost statistically, every time have a higher advantage than women in physical aspects. If you were born a male with XY chromosomes, you're going to have physically a different body. Is that not common sense? So you can keep this victim, oh, what trans women go through this and that. We're not even talking about that. You can talk about that with somebody else. So
Coming
please don't bring
from
that
someone
victim
that is
nonsense
playing
over
victim
here.
for cis women the entire time. Yeah, bit hypocritical. But go ahead, Artemis.
You are a hypocrite because I could do the same thing.
You
As being a
are.
Black
You
woman, I could do
are.
the
And
same
I'm going to
thing.
mute you again because it's
I could do
Artemis's
the same
turn.
thing. You're being a hypocrite.
Stop talking. It's Artemis's turn. Go ahead.
Hi. So the thing about Leah Thomas is she was actually ranked second place in her sophomore year of college in the men's division. She was ranked second place Ivy League championships overall, which was going to be in the 500-yard freestyle, 200-yard freestyle, and 1650-yard freestyle. Once she started on,
of them where she was like around 400th place. Don't
I'm
forget the rest of them.
getting there if you would allow me. Those were not until 2 years later, when she had taken a break because she had started on HRT and COVID had hit. So for a year and a half, she was going through HRT, and she was not allowed to compete in the women's division until she had reached 2 years. Which then they measured her levels, and her levels matched that to what is required to compete with cisgendered women. So I'm not lying. You just didn't look up the stats for her freshman and sophomore years. You only looked at her last year.
I am aware that she definitely planked, and that's like just comically right after she planked and she went down from whatever high ranking she was in the cis male category. So I'm talking about her falling down the ladder, and then after that, after her break and whatever, which you're insinuating. What are you insinuating the break does that makes her less advanced or whatever?
No, I'm talking about that she was on HRT during that time and she couldn't compete until she recompeted back in the men's division after she had been on HRT for over a year and was doing the 400 numbers that you're talking about. Those were her rankings then after she had done HRT.
So after she done HRT, her rankings planked, and then that made women's division, and that made her. And then what was her first year in the women's division? What did she get? Second place?
No, it wouldn't have been her first year. Give me a second here. Because that was at the NCAA championships. I'm talking about Ivy League championship rankings, which were used to classify her rankings, the ones that you're talking about, the 400s. Sorry, one moment. But I can pull that up really quick.
Let's like that share, guys.
Okay, yeah, so it was in the 500-yard freestyle on the women's team. In first place that she won at the NCAA championship. This is separate from the Ivy League championship that people reference when they're talking about where she was ranked 400.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But either way, we're not just talking about Leah, right? We're talking about, in general, males, right? Born male, XY. What are the physical advantages that you get via birth?
So it's going to be
Muscle mass, strength, hormonal differences, cardiovascular and respiratory capacity, bone density and structure, metabolism, and physical resilience and pain tolerance. Females are better at that, though. But you get what I'm saying? So the muscle mass is different. Generally, a higher percentage of muscle mass and larger muscle fibers, which contribute to a great overall strength. You need muscles for your breaststrokes, don't you?
a question, and I would like to answer it.
No, it was a rhetorical question because I'm the one answering because it was my turn.
Okay, do you just want to talk to yourself?
No, because you were talking, I let you have your moment. Is that not fair?
I thought you were asking me a question, and I was literally going to start providing you studies that have been done on transgender athletes that show that there is not this domination.
No. Transgender male. I'm talking about males in general. Is Leah a male? Is Leah a male? Can we agree that Leah is a male? Not a man, but a male.
Leah Thomas is male, yes.
Wow. So I'm looking at males in general because Leah Thomas is still a male. And what advantages that, so do hormones take away your lung capacity? Do they take away your muscle
They
mass?
actually
That's
do
true.
have a significant effect on one's body, which I keep trying to tell you about, but you don't allow me to say anything.
Yeah, but I would still suggest that there's still like, does it get rid of everything?
What do you mean by everything? And what?
You're not 100%. It's not an overnight. You're not Sailor Moon. You don't just transform into a freaking woman overnight. Obviously,
Maybe you
you still
should
have
try
those
listening
male.
to Artemis for like
You
No
two
still
one's
have
saying
those
minutes
male
instead of
characteristics.
listening to yourself.
Okay, Katie. You still have male characteristics. But go ahead,
But
Artemis.
what do we mean by these male characteristics? Because we have forms of measurement in order to analyze if these characteristics are going to be like harmful to trans women competing in women's sports.
But if they have them, that's already a problem.
We need to be able to prove that that is a problem. So I'm asking you, like, can you provide me like information on people who have been on cross-sex hormones for 2 years minimum, that shows that these what you consider to be advantages have not been diminished?
I just think it's fair to say that biological sex is a determinant of athletic performance. Why do you, like, when you just look at the Olympics or anything in general, male and female, by definition, are in a different category for a reason. So, I want to know how significant, since you know this and I don't, I'm going to be fair, I don't know how deep this goes because you definitely do your research on this. Tell me, how significant is the change that these hormones on 1 to 2 years do for Leah that make it so much more like that she's on the same wavelength as these cisgender women? And you can't even compare and be fair because these cisgender women have been doing these swimming sports and have been their neck in the back sport probably since they were young, and they've been in this. So of course Leah's going to be like teetering in that category. And then people saying, oh yeah, she plummeted later. I'm like, after the backlash and she plummeted, that doesn't really, to me, anybody can swim as you can swim as good as you want to swim, is all I have to say about that.
You know
So
that,
you
like,
tell me how it changed so significantly. Like, I want percentages. I want where does she fit?
I'm trying. So she also won 5th place, by the way, in the same NCAA championship that she won the first place one in. No one likes to talk about that. But I have right here, this was a study done by the BJSM that looked at strength, power, and aerobic capacity of transgender athletes, a cross-sectional study. This was published, I believe, of this year on March 13th, 2024. The primary objective of this cross-sectional study was to compare standard laboratory performance metrics of transgender athletes to cisgendered athletes. What they found is that they looked at here and saw that there wasn't that while longitudinal transitioning studies of transgender athletes are urgently needed, these results should caution against precautionary bans and sports eligibility exclusions that are not based on sport-specific research. The studies they found here was that they are within the range of cisgendered women or cisgendered men, whichever transgender athlete we're looking at.
Okay, so wait, so what are like the highest ranking transgender male athlete? No, transgender female to male. Like have there been any ranking in the men's category for any transgender females turned male?
There's actually several trans men that have done well in sports, like Chris Moiser, Skylar Bailey.
No, I mean swimming.
I listed more than just swimming. Chris Moiser is a triathlon winner.
Yeah, I know. Of course. There's much more sports that are also. What's that word?
Skylar Bailey was in swimming.
Okay, how did they do? Did they do as good as Leah?
Did what? They did well. They were competing at Division I at NCAA.
What did they rank?
I have to pull that up. That's not how we do this in a laboratory setting, though. Ranking doesn't actually help us understand.
But then, how does ranking not help us understand? But you said, well, Leah placed 5th, so it only works when you want to defend your part?
What you brought up earlier, I'm actually bringing up how we go into the science of it by looking at all the things you brought up, like lungs and cardiovascular and muscles and all of those things.
So they don't help.
Also, guys, I'm putting this on top only chat till we get to 20K likes.
I'm literally going into that this was done in a laboratory setting to understand the metrics. When it comes to competitions are not going to be a great area to look at in a enclosed experiment, because there's many different areas that we can't control for. So it's not in a controlled setting. So is it going to help us understand if there is an advantage?
Right. So you are aware that these statistics that there's not even a lot that backs up your case as well, if that makes sense. It's still a very new thing being studied. I mean, on the study, 23 transgender women, 21 cisgender women, not even 100. You know what I mean? So it's just Is
Yeah,
that even fair to
Are there
like,
any
this is like your little
statistics that back
article
up
with
you?
literally less than 50
that's
people.
not even the only one I have. I have others. This is
No,
just
but you get
one.
what I'm saying, right? These are really small playing field numbers. I'm just talking in general, even on average outside of sports. If I was going head to head with a transgender woman in like a bar fight,
Great. Can I ask you a
who's more
question?
likely to lose?
How many transgender athletes are there competing at collegiate or professional levels?
I think there's a small percentage. I don't know how many specifically though.
35. 35. So how can we get already such a tiny portion of individuals who are in athletics when you're wanting we have to look at what the numbers that we have. Transgender athletes are a very, very small number of individuals. We can't say a huge study on transgender athletes when simply not enough transgender athletes exist. So I hear what you're saying, but we're going with what we have and we're moving forward. If we see showing that there is an advantage, then I think that we have a case. However,
Right.
I'm seeing that when we look at after 2 years on HRT.
Is this study about trans women on 2 years? They're all on hormone therapy. I'm assuming everybody in the study.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. So then, but like even the article itself makes it clear that there's like a lack of laboratory data on strength power from transgender athlete populations. Is that because there's such a small population that compete in these sports, or that
Yes.
there's not enough? So the study itself is aware that there's not even enough to make this as it's very much take as what you will. Honestly, that's what I read from this.
I would like to just chime in with the fact that realistically, to find out if there's advantages in trans people, you would also need to do general population, because typically athletes have been training for a long period of time. So
Exactly.
I'm sorry?
I said exactly. I agree with Katie.
Yeah, so I also have a study to pull from, which would be the United States Air Force study that was done a few years prior, which
Air
was
Force, you mean like the military?
yes, the
You
military.
mean military combat trained women? Can we do a general population study? Do we have that yet, or are we not there yet?
Okay. They ran the study.
For women who train combat on the daily. Okay, but
Oh,
continue.
basic. Do you not understand what that means?
Like basic training. You said in the Air Force, military.
Yes, that means that they weren't like combat trained yet. They're going through basic.
And what is basic? Because I know basic ain't nothing when it comes to the military.
They have to pass the performance measures.
And do you know how difficult that is to do for any woman or man in general?
Yes, which is why it's a good metric.
How is it a good metric? Because I'm talking about just average general, because you can't really compare. Like everything is so, that's what I'm saying. Like these articles are great on paper, but
sorry,
like I said, you're talking specifically for military people.
I'm getting really frustrated. Do you have anything or just your feelings at this point? Because
No, it's not feelings. I'm looking at it realistically. You just said military and now you're mad.
Realistically, you haven't read the study. You don't know what the study is about, and quite frankly, you're fucking irritating.
So far, I've heard about the Air Force, which have to do combative things, but since I'm so
I
irritated,
would like to
Right back. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Get the rest of the facts.
Just like finish a sentence. So, do you have any statistics?
Did you not hear that? Neither side has enough statistics.
Well, I was asking if you have any.
What do you mean?
Do you have any
observation, and I can like look. I have observation. I see the rankings, and I see just in general.
Observation is in
do you need statistics to look at if males? Okay, Katie, let me ask you this. There are statistics that say that males are stronger than women since probably the 90s. People have been psychologists, not psychologists, sorry. In general, whatever scientist is in the bodily anatomy, these statistics exist. So you tell me, are there statistics about males being stronger than females? I can give you hundreds of those.
That would be so. Do you want to stop? Are you here to just talk to yourself? Like Artemis was so valid.
No. You asked me a question, and I told you. No, Katie, you don't have to play this whole game with me. You asked me a question, and I told you there's hundreds of statistics.
Yeah, and then you asked me one.
Yeah, hold on. I want to say something real quick. Trans women are not in the same capacity as cis men. You keep comparing them as if they're the same, but trans women are actually at a biological disadvantage to cis men. So like, you want to lump them in with men, they're not gonna win against cis men.
Not all of them take hormones. Not all of them take hormones.
Yeah,
so when you have to take hormones to be trans now. What happened to the community accepting everybody?
When we're talking about certain categories, sex characteristics are going to be more relevant. In bathrooms, I don't think your sex characteristics are relevant. When it comes to sports, sex characteristics are relevant. Now, could you tell me which male sex characteristics is relevant to them being stronger, typically?
Yes, I can. Let me give
Which
you
one?
right here. I'll search them up.
It's just one. I'm just asking.
There's several.
Do
There's several
you know what?
physical
I'm gonna do
advantages
what
males get by birth.
what you do. I'm gonna answer my own question because I'm actually
Okay,
here
you
just
do
to
it, but
talk to
that'll help you
myself.
answer it too.
So
Miss
it's
Emmy.
what's gonna be most relevant is hormones.
And what else?
Hormones.
And what else? Girl, Katie,
Hormones.
don't be dumb on
Do you-
purpose.
Hi,
Do you
hi,
actually,
hi, 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 honey, 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 honey.
Katie?
Okay.
Katie,
Do you know?
be
Do
fair
you
with
know
yourself?
why? Do you know why those other characteristics come about? Hormones.
That's why it's really important to
Okay, but
understand.
be specific. You're just saying hormones.
We
Be
are
specific.
talking about
List
Testosterone.
them. What are the
Testosterone.
Because we know hormones affect everything in your body.
Hey, testosterone levels are what are going to be the determining factor for the other characteristics that are typical of males. That's why HRT becomes relevant, all right?
Yes,
You
because
understand
it messes
yet?
with that. I totally comprehend that. But I'm saying specifically,
Okay.
you're just saying hormones. You know hormones affect everything. Hormones can affect as little as your mood. So you got to be a little more specific when you just say hormones.
Yeah, I'm not going to give the list that you literally gave earlier, but my point here is that when we're talking about males and the general male population, those people are going to have typically higher levels of testosterone, whereas trans women who are on HRT typically have lower levels of testosterone, some even lower than a cis female.
Right, which is very teeter tot. Like, because you guys argue that I'm only arguing from like an emotional standpoint, when you're also arguing from the standpoint that
you haven't
it's
given
like
a single statistic. You literally admit
I
that you
have
don't
given
have
a
it.
statistic about how males are inherently stronger than females, and then you're like, oh, HRT. I'm like, well, are all trans women on HRT? And then you were like,
Yes, and then what did I say? What did I say?
And then you were talking about, well, hormones, HRT inflicts hormones and testosterone.
That's not
I'm
what I
just like,
said in response to that, actually. What I said in response to that is that in some areas of life, whether or not a trans woman is on HRT is relevant, such as sports.
100%. But what I'm saying is, Artemis here can at least be honest with me and say that there's not enough. Like, even the article that she was reading from is like, well, there's not enough.
Not what I said
statistics on
either.
strength. So, like,
With all the disrespect, I'm not going to have you misquote me. That's not what I said. And I was willing to give you more and more articles, which you were not allowing me to speak on anything. You didn't even read the article which I was talking about from the United States military, from the Air Force, that what it was doing and looking at. You instead
can read it if you want, but my point still stands of how it's the military.
Hey,
The military.
to yourself because you refuse to engage in an actual, like, honest discussion. So, as Katie requested before, do you have anything to provide to us to help us better understand your position?
That males have a higher advantage inherently
And why would that be?
because they're males.
Nope, it's a real big key factor.
She already explained it. We already said hormones.
I want to make sure you were paying attention.
Right, so what are we advocating for when it comes to trans women in sports, LMAO?
I'm advocating for the
what are we
disadvantage.
I didn't ask about you. I said, what are we advocating for?
You're advocating for trans women to be in women's sports because they have less testosterone.
No, that's not what was said.
No, that's not it either.
That's not the position.
Actually what it, no, the funniest way possible.
That's really not the position. The position is that we think that trans women should be able to compete in women's sports after 2 to 3 years of HRT.
Okay, because that's the only studies that you have. Is 2 to 3 years.
So do you have any statistics showing that trans women after 2 years of HRT still show an advantage?
No, I'd never searched up statistics for that.
Obviously. Oh, okay. Well, that's going to be what's relevant here.
Okay, so my question here, when you talk, I still have a question about, I was asking Artemis about in general, like how it is, but then she wants to compare military people. So we can do the military.
Not comparing military people. I'm literally giving you a study that was done over the course of 4 years.
In what field?
In what field? It was run by the United States military. Just the military. The Department of the Air Force ran it. Not
so you,
the
like
Air
the ones
Force
that do computers?
No.
Not the flyers?
I'm
Like,
sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, and with all the disrespect. Do you not understand how military studies work? This didn't mean that these were airmen or airwomen. This means that the Department of the Air Force ran the study. I didn't know I had to think for you too. I know your brain cells are fucking fighting for third place, but try to keep up.
Insulting me and sounding slow doesn't help. But anywho,
Sweetheart, I don't sound that way. And you can try to insult me. It's not going to work.
I'm not insulting you. I don't have
because
the
you
I don't
seem
care
like
to
you
insult
have
you.
She sounded slow.
Whoa, the
You're not
ableism
slowing
went a
your-
little
you
too
insult
far.
yourself. You insult yourself by just talking. So I don't know why I
I
have to do it
insult
for
myself.
you.
It seems like I touched a nerve.
I'm not that low. I'm not that low. Sorry, I don't go
You just
insulting
stooped
people
that
because I
low.
disagree with
You
them.
just stooped that low. You just
Not as
stooped
low
that
as
low.
her. She started a little bit. Well, you have third place for your brain.
Girl. You just said the Artemis insults herself by just talking. You have been the
Katie,
person. Hey, calm down. Take a breath.
How does it taste in your mouth?
Great. Take a breath. Okay? So,
Take one.
okay. Let's all take one together.
That was nice.
I feel better. Right. Now, can everyone else also take a breath with me? Because I think what would be amazing is that if other people had some time to speak.
That would be really nice.
You're saying that Artemis is insulting herself just by talking, but you have been the person talking the most on this panel. In fact, the reason I hit request was to ask the question that Artemis asked right after I hit it, which was, are you here to talk to yourself? Because that's what it seems like. So I would love it if you could just take some deep breaths. I'll do the same thing. I'm about to go on mute. And Artemis is just going to have like 2 minutes, not even that long. It doesn't have to be long, just 2 minutes to go over the Air Force study a little bit and try just listening, because you're asking a lot of questions. You might not have so many questions if you know what the study's actually about. So me and you, we're going to go on mute. We're going to take some deep breaths. Artemis, take it away.
Yeah. So what was being looked at here was they were looking at specifically transgender patients using the Transgender Health Medical Evaluation Unit database and recorded dates of GAHT initiation through a retrospective chart review. So they reviewed this for 4 years, and the performance measures were maximum sit-ups in 1 minute, push-ups in 1 minute, 1.5 mile run time. Pre- and post-GHT scores were compared using one sample t-test to mean scores of cisgender averages to assess for significant differences being affirmed, transgender and cisgender. We then performed the two-sided test, TOST procedure for equivalency with upper and lower bounds. What they found is that transgender males demonstrated statistically significant worse performances than cisgender males in all events until 3 years of GAHT. Their average scores would have been attained a comfortable passing score within 1 year of GAHT. Transgender females' performances showed statistically significantly better scores than cisgendered females until 2 years of GAHT in run times and 4 years in sit-up scores, and remained superior in push-ups at the study's 4-year endpoint. TOST confirmed equivalence at all points where statistical differences were not demonstrated. Service members approximate their pre-GHT assigned gender percentile ranking in their firm gender and in manner consistent with the hypothesis and TOST testing in the push-up event for both transgender males and females and the 1.5 mile run event for transgender males. In conclusion, athletic performance measures demonstrate variable rates of change depending on the patient's affirmed gender and differ by physical test component. Based on the study, transgender females should begin to be assessed by the female standard no later than 2 years after starting GAHT, while transgender males can be assessed by their affirmed standard no earlier than 3 years after initiating GAHT.
Okay, I have a study.
Cool.
Talking. Okay, is PubMed Central? It's .gov. Is that better? You guys like .gov? I feel like that's more advanced than
Yeah,
.com.
if you can just give me the PMID code.
Is that the very top?
Top of what?
Here, PMID 358-97465.
Great.
So I'm just gonna read 2 paragraphs. I'll have my moment, and you can read through the whole thing, like just to make sure. So the first paragraph that stood out to me was this here. Let's start here. Testosterone. It talks about testosterone hormones and everything you guys have been talking about. So testosterone is secreted before birth, postnatally, and that after puberty is the major factor that drives these physiological sex differences. And as adults, testosterone levels are 10 to 15 times higher in males and females. The non-overlapping range of testosterone between the sexes has led sport regulators, such as the International Olympic Committee, to use 10 nmol/liter testosterone as a sole physiological parameter to divide the male and female sporting divisions. Using testosterone levels as a basis for separating male and female athletes is arguably flawed. Male physiology cannot be reformatted by estrogen therapy in trans women athletes because testosterone has driven permanent effects through early life exposure. This descriptive critical review discusses the inherent male physiological advantages that lead to superior athletic performance, and then addresses how estrogen therapy fails to create a female-like physiology in the male. Ultimately, the formal male physiology of trans women athletes provide them with a physiological advantage over the cis female athlete. Now, if we go to the next paragraph, there's also a chart, by the way, so this isn't just, out my bum. It says here, there's actually, so I thought hormones change everything. There's actually permanent sex differences that affect athletic performance involving the brain. You need the brain, skeletal structure, and cardiorespiratory system. Modifiable sex differences include testosterone effects on muscle mass and strength and aerobatic capacity. So the muscle mass thing, you guys can have it. But there's also permanent things that testosterone affects is from early puberty. I would assume people like Leah or anybody who are in these fields, like especially Leah transitioned, in between their competing years, definitely had testosterone throughout the higher levels of testosterone throughout their whole childhood. So it is proven that someone that is born a male, even when hormones are introduced, there are permanent things that cannot be reversed, and inherently there is an advantage no matter how they rank, no matter if they have a crappy swim that day. When they wake up and they're breathe and they're born bred, they still have more advantage than females. That's what I'm saying. So you guys can say, oh, well, they did bad, rank number 20 because da-da-da, and so some cis women do better than them. It doesn't matter if a cis woman, because there's some cis women that are stronger than cis men. I could be a cis man that eats pizza all day and sucks at lifting weights, and I could be a cis female bodybuilder and I could bench him. Does that make sense? So this whole the performance, that's really sweet on the surface level, but inherently there's permanent physiological advances that cannot be reversed or changed. And that's what I have a problem with. That's what I wanted to point out.
Okay, great. So thank you for bringing up a meta-analysis. I really love those. Did you by chance get a chance to look at the cross-references that are used in this meta-analysis and how old they are?
Does it matter?
Yes, because one of them is from, let me see here, the second one, I'm so sorry, I just had it, which one was it?
You can name all of them.
Okay, yeah, so we've got one from 2005, 2007, 2008, 2010, 2019, that's a good one, 2018 is a good one.
And from 2008 to 10, has it changed? Has the physiological permanent things in males, have they just disappeared?
Wait, what we've been studying has changed, yes.
So the permanent advantages that males have, like brain, cardiovascular, that went away because of hormones?
You asked me a question, how we studied it originally. Yes, because in 2015, we had a huge breakthrough in neurology where we understood that, in fact, no one has a male or female brain. It's a mosaic structure. So, yeah, we've had significantly changes in the scientific field. There's one from 1998 that is in the study, 1994. There's early 2000s. There's ones from 2001, 1995, 1994. It seems to be the case that you are doing something called confirmation bias, but I will definitely go over this study, even though some of these are
said to look up a statistic. That would agree.
No, this isn't a statistic. This is not a statistic. This is not a statistic.
I also want to point out that's not what we said.
They haven't tested it out. But so, can you tell me from between 2020 and 2024, can you prove that there's no permanent physiological advances left in trans women, that all of the hormones have reversed everything?
This is not a study that did anything. This is a meta-analysis. So
now you can prove to me with a study, because you really like studies.
I really get tired of you interrupting me. I am going to answer your question. You asking if there's anything that changed between the years of 2022 and 2024 has no relevance to this discussion in any way, shape, or form, because that's not what I'm citing. This is a meta-analysis that was completed in 2022 that uses sources going all the way back to the 80s.
Okay, so when does the source cut off for you? Do you use
it's not what the source is.
That's not what I'm saying.
I would really like to say something here because there's a fundamental. I'm sorry. I don't even know who's doing that. I'm sorry. You've interrupted everyone a million times, so I don't actually care. So you have a fundamental miscomprehension of what science does and how it works. And I know that because you said that this has been proved. So that's what you're not understanding, is that that's not how science operates. Science operates on an evidence basis where we have theoretical models and we provide evidence for and against them. So what
There
you would...
is evidence in that article.
There's
literally a chart evidence.
done. That's so crazy. So my point here, sweetheart, is that the evidence from 2005, why is a meta-analysis in 2022's latest study that it's referencing from 2005?
I mean, it references some newer ones, Katie, but one of the stuff she's pointing out are from older studies.
Okay, so she left it out. Got it. Thank you, Artemis.
I didn't. Wait, no.
No, please. Why are you?
Happened.
Whoa, Artemis. You were so close. Finish what you were saying, please, because I really know that you were only pointing out what I specifically said. If you want to read the whole entire article on TikTok together, we can. And there's probably more updated versions of...
I'm really getting tired of you speaking for me. That's not what I was saying, and you obviously weren't listening. Katie was referencing some of the dates I read off. I also read off later dates, but the later dates I read off were not in reference to the things that you brought up, LM and LMA.
What reference were they to?
They were in reference to older studies that Katie was bringing up.
Okay, so my question is, what's the cutoff date? For, like, let's say there's a... Because usually, what I've noticed... Katie, I'm talking. What I've noticed that in
I don't
science...
care. It's weird that I don't care because you don't care, so why would I?
I'm talking.
That's okay. I don't care.
This is
showing no one any respect, so I'm not going to show you respect.
I'm not going to show it to you either then. At least Artemis
you haven't. You already haven't been. You already haven't been. That's the point.
But why should I be quiet?
Right, because the reason I'm interrupting you is because you show no one on the panel any respect, so I'm not going to give it to you. Had you been respectful up till now, so would I. But the point is not that there's a cutoff date, because did anyone make the claim that there is a cutoff date for studies and we just completely disregard them?
She complained that they were older.
Did she say, because this study is older, it means nothing?
Bring a point like that up.
Did she say that? Can you answer the question directly? Did she say that?
No, she didn't, so there's no point to bring it up.
Okay, so why don't you stop making claims that no one has made?
I asked a question. I said, when's the cutoff date? Because she keeps bringing up how older dates.
Did anyone say there was a cutoff date?
But I can't clarify.
Did anyone say there was a cutoff date?
Bringing it up.
Did anyone say there was a cutoff date?
Don't gaslight me. Don't gaslight me.
Did anyone say there was a cutoff date? Did anyone say there was a cutoff date?
Don't gaslight me.
I don't know how I'm gaslighting you when I'm asking a question. Did anyone say there was a cutoff date?
And I answered no, but why would she bring it up if there's not one?
Okay, so no one said that. Good to know. Artemis, why don't you explain why you made that point instead of LMAO assuming why you made that point and then asking questions that aren't relevant?
Yeah, all I was meaning by this was that when we look at these older studies, we have to see what parameters are being used and if those parameters have changed, because they do change. That's what I meant by when you were talking about the brain. Our understanding of the brain pre-2015 is going to be different than how we understand it post-2015. So that's what I meant by that, is that I have to go through all of these, which I don't mind doing. I enjoy that. I was just stating that because some of these are older, some of these might not be like valid to the study, the meta-analysis. That's all.
Thank you for your educated opinion. Great, let's move on. Like, that meant nothing, but thank you. Like, I thought this was something so detrimental to the evidence I'm bringing forth, but you're just saying there's a possibility.
I'm sorry, was that supposed to be like an insult, thanking me for my educated opinion?
It wasn't an insult. It was an educated opinion. You love to do this, so you'll look at it and you'll see if it's valid or not based on the years, because up until 2015, we had a different understanding of the brain. That's exactly what I'm regurgitating what you're saying. So thank you for your educated opinion on that, since you're better at this than me, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I don't get that. Like, is there an issue?
I didn't say I was better than you.
No, I said you're, no, I'm saying that. I'm saying that you're definitely good. This is what you do, right? So you can go through the whole article. You can pick out the years. You can go through the little infrastructures of everything and where it's done, You can do all that extra stuff that I'm never going to do. And then you can come back to me
because
with,
you don't actually care.
This is wrong.
Yeah, you just told us all that you don't actually
care. Shut up, Katie. Oh, Katie, you're just a bird. I don't have time for you.
I'm just a bird?
You a bird is ridiculous.
What does that mean?
You just tweet in my ear like a bum. Like I'm literally not even talking to you anymore. I'm talking to
Bestie,
Artemis.
the
And I'm just
projection
saying,
is crazy.
shut up, Katie. You project your voice too much. I thought I
You
was the
know
one
what
that talks a lot, but
projection
now you want to
means?
join me. Now you want to join me.
Do you know what
Like for what?
projection means?
Can one of us be the problem? Do you have to be here too? Stupid. Like, come on.
Oh,
That-
I thought we weren't
crying.
doing insults. And now apparently you have stooped to my level. Welcome to the bottom.
Not all the way down there, girl. I'm not all the way there yet.
Bestie,
Might
you
be.
are further. Whew. At least Artemis actually cares about the stuff that she talks about.
I
You just admit
do.
you don't.
I genuinely care. I said Artemis can go can go and check
Yeah,
because
'cause
she's
you don't
saying
care to
something
do
about
that.
2015 making a difference, right?
Yeah,
So,
because you don't
Katie,
care to do that.
I thought bums like you don't like making assumptions. You're making an assumption. I never said I didn't care about this at all. That's why I'm here. The only reason I'm here is that I.
Verbatim, you said that you do not care that much enough
Did
to
you-
go into the study. Verbatim, you did just say that. I would like for the record to show, for the court to reflect, that you did say you do not care enough to go into the study.
I don't even know if she said that, but
I
my
don't care enough to
point
do all the
is
comparing
my
of 2015
point,
brains are different.
Yeah,
That's what I
because
said.
yeah, because
Don't
you
misquote me to make yourself feel better.
If you cared about this, then surely you would care about whether or not the data that you're citing is actually valid.
And if Artemis does it, do we all die? No. So
Huh?
What?
you're saying that I only have to care if I actually do it.
Just for anybody that wants to know, there are Angry Birds that you can buy at the TikTok shop. If you use the discount code LMAO, you get 15%.
Wait, you know what? You know what? I would actually like to know this. Someone in the chat said, "Is this Gatto? Are you Gatto?"
No, I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
Okay.
Where were we? Okay, so Artemis, how quickly can you check everything?
There's literally over
Is there
a
time? Is there
hundred.
3 to 5 business days to?
Sorry, there's over 100 citations in this source, and I do have a life outside of TikTok, so that will take me a bit.
100 citations? Ooh, looking dangerous. That's a lot.
Not really.
Also, just so everyone is aware,
I'm making a joke, Artemis.
it is now $10 to get guests to my PayPal, just so everyone's aware. Carry on.
Emily, that $10 really? Make it 20, girl. I think you're worth more than.
Condescension.
I'm so sorry. My husband
Kicking you is worth so much, actually. Like,
I think Emily's worth more than $10 to kick me off. I think 20. People should at least, show their care. 30?
I don't think you
50?
understand. It's not about how much Emily is worth.
Katie,
it's
it's
about
called
how much
sarcasm.
it's about how much it's worth our sanity to have to listen to you.
Katie, shut up.
Okay, honey.
Whoa.
Okay, honey, like an
Whoa.
old lady. Ugh.
You really
Got chills
you
down my
really
spine when
went
Katie
big with that
speaks.
one.
I get chills down my spine.
Girl, do you think that this is gonna make me cry?
You're gonna make me cry. Shut up.
How old are you? Are you 5? Is that the best you can do?
Are you fine? You have the brain capacity of a 6-year-old, but I didn't talk about you. So I don't know why you like to talk about.
Wait, actually, can we dissect that? What does that mean, the brain capacity of a 6-year-old? Could you enlighten me on what that means?
Yeah, please talk to me about talk to me about the cognitive
If your
abilities
mods
of a
stop meeting me,
6-year-old.
then can I explain what I mean when I'm talking to Katie? Is because let's be fair. I had my fair share, had my moments, sure, whatever. I'm that type of person. But Katie just unprovoked, she's like, oh, well, because you did something 10 minutes ago, I'm still gonna be on your ass. Artemis is here, actually trying. Katie's just here going like, well, did that really hurt my feelings? Like, shut, no one is talking to you. Katie, if I'm addressing you and I'm beefing you one-on-one, then you can talk all you want, but I'm not talking to you. Nobody's talking to you.
You were literally repeating what I was saying. Like,
After you interrupted me, I hate victims. Oh my god, you literally came at me.
Bestie, I am
Wait, hold on.
Trust me, I do not
You
see myself
hate
as a victim.
victims, yet you are playing like one when you talk about cis women in sports. Interesting.
Nobody's a victim. Trans women can do whatever they want. They can still be a bum ass at the sport. I don't care.
So they can join sports now. We
But
just had a
I
win
can't
tank.
talk about physiological differences anymore without being a victim. Have we come to this part in society?
I mean, I'm gonna take that as a W. I think LMAO
We
just
can't talk
conceded
about
that.
physiological differences without being a victim now.
I think she just conceded.
I just
We
want to
can't
say, I
say
don't
that's
know.
what it is. Any biologist is a victim now if they ever talk about the physiological differences between men and women.
I don't know which mod is muting this person, but I love you.
Because you can keep me quiet, Katie. With
I just want the mods to know that whoever keeps muting them is I idolize this person.
I'm sure they know that, Katie. W mod, whoever's doing that, W mods.
They can lock me up. They can never let me out. Let's talk about trans women in prison. Let's go next, guys. Where should we go? Where should we go? Oh yeah, trans women in prison. Since they're locking me up here in jail, muted for no reason.
Girl, you can leave.
I mean, are you okay? Did you drink caffeine before
I
you
didn't know
came
we
on
were
this
in
live?
We
jail.
are
No,
locking
because they
her
keep
up
muting
by
me for no
muting her.
reason, even though everybody else is
seriously,
talking.
are you on something?
No.
Because, like, you're very energetic.
She's high on
So
life.
because I'm an energetic woman, I'm on something.
I mean, like, a
Oh,
little too
talk about
energetic. A
anti-feminist.
little concerning energetic.
Sorry that if I'm not boring, that's not my problem.
I mean, like, I think things are buzzing in your head. Like, they're
You
just
are
like
definitely
pump on
not
fire.
boring,
Like,
I'll
I
give you
mean,
Y'all are
that.
the
you
same
probably
people that say to be careful about people's mental
you
health issues,
probably
but the moment they
slugged that
disagree with you.
caffeine before you went on this panel to
But
get ready.
you're definitely
Like,
the same. You know what I
you
find
are
funny?
running a fight, man. Like,
You're the same type of person to be like a mental health advocate, like, yo, be careful and when you talk about others, but then when people don't disagree with you, you just go full cannon. No, do you have, like, is there something wrong with your brain because you don't disagree
No,
that a
well,
biological male should be...
who asked if there was something wrong with your brain? Who asked
I
that?
talked about caffeine. Like, what?
You
I'm
literally
so
were
lost
just,
right now.
you're something with your brain buzzing. I'm just
Who
like, are
said-
you done?
Your brain, yeah, because she was referencing caffeine.
Yeah.
Please, not the victim jump. I just don't have time for this. You jumped to caffeine after you just asked, are you okay?
No,
Like,
the first
blah.
thing she asked was, did you drink caffeine
Did you not
before
hear
you
her
came on
sentence,
this live?
Katie? I don't know if you're Helen Keller, but you really need to...
You're trying to call us
Out of
ableist?
pocket.
Hello? Hello? You're trying to call us ableist and then you're gonna ask if I'm Helen Keller? Are
Open
you
your mouth, Helen
serious?
Keller.
I can't right now with this. This is wild.
Helen Keller. Always yapping, never...
Hello?
I mean, girl, I don't think that you've taken a breath this entire conversation.
Don't say girl. You don't know my pronouns.
You literally said you were a woman like 2 seconds ago. Girl is not pronoun.
I'd like to point out you can buy human.
You can be a woman.
You can buy human decency
You
in
can
the
be a woman
TikTok
with
shop as well as
Yeah,
mod
with different
human powers.
Yeah, and girl isn't
You
a
could be a woman with
pronoun.
different pronouns. Nice
Girl
try.
isn't a pronoun.
So
Emily said
can
girl,
you call a
and you
non-binary
said
person
you don't
girl?
know my pronouns.
Can you
but
call a
girl isn't
non-binary
a
person
pronoun.
girl?
Sorry?
You contradict your own movement. Can you call a non? Can you
Yes.
call a non-binary?
If you're using it colloquially.
Hold on. Are you part of the community?
No, she said she was a woman. She already said that. Anyway, you can call a non-binary person. I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna answer your question.
Yeah,
So
can you
you
call a
said,
non-binary person girl?
Yeah, if you're using it colloquially like that, and you're just going, "Oh, girl," and they're comfortable with it, yes. For
How do you know if I'm
example,
comfortable with it or not?
because you said you're a woman.
Doesn't mean it. A woman could be anything these days, so you should just be careful next time. I'm just
No, a
letting you
woman
know.
is
Don't
a
be
woman.
hypocrite. Don't be a
woman
hypocrite
is a
for your
woman.
movement.
A woman
What
is a woman.
What is a woman?
An adult person whose gender identity aligns with their schema of the female sex.
Who aligns? Oh, you mean the female? Right. So
Too
transgender
much
woman.
for
woman.
her. It's too much for LMAO's brain to comprehend that.
Oh, I know.
Now we
She was
have
expecting
the
me to get
twink.
flustered,
Wow.
but I have a definition.
Did you
LGBTQI
just
is
miss
after
it
my
for
name.
Wait, hold on.
Did you ask
What
for the
It's like the
definition of non-binary?
What
LGBTQ
did you say,
agenda.
LMAO? What
She
did
just
you
called
say?
me a twink.
They didn't bring Iron Man. They brought Iron Twink. It's like the Avengers.
LMAO, I
Everybody
love
keeps
how you're
coming
making
up.
fun of LGBT individuals and you're talking about non-binary, but you just misgendered me.
You
am
look
non-binary.
like if somebody drew James Charles
And you
wrong
sound like a
started
toddler
speaking.
that snorted Adderall. Like, what's your point?
that started Adderall. You sound like you take Adderall.
I'm just mocking you. That's exactly how you sound. It sounds like you take Adderall.
I don't sound like a twink like you.
I
don't sound
love
like
it
What's the
here. No,
point?
you sound
Please.
like a pain in my ass. That's what you sound like.
You don't have an
for
ass,
real.
Katie. You're flat. Anyways,
Bestie, oh, trust me, I am not that. You can go to my profile, by the way. I do pole dancing videos if anyone wants
With
to
white
know
women-
something out.
Not the casual.
Guys,
like,
it's $10 to my PayPal now. No
with white
galaxies.
women like Katie, it's either like they're flat or they're fat.
PayPal's in my
Yeah,
bio.
Being fat is like somehow equivalent to having a
What
big
about
butt.
you, LMAO? Can we address you as well? Like,
Address me
you
as
want to talk
what?
about other people. What about you and your disgusting?
You came for me first. As soon as I
Right.
said the twink came, like you literally started talking shit to me first. Are you
Wait.
dumb?
Wait, real quick. So you
Hold on.
said
This is really important to me. Sorry,
Okay.
I need to defend my ass. So chat, everyone go and check out some of my pole dancing videos real quick. Come back to chat and let LMA know
Of
if I'm flat or not, please.
Just keep degrading yourself some more.
real quick, LMAO, I love how you said, "Oh, I came for you first," but then you called me a twink. Like that's
Right
an
after
insult
you talk
first.
shit. If you were
Girl,
You
pick
love
a
a very
lane.
specific kind of person. If you didn't talk
LMAO,
shit, if you didn't talk shit, I call you a twink.
LMAO, you need to pick a struggle, girl.
Can you be my
You
best
are
friend?
the
I actually
struggle.
love you,
Anyways,
LMAO.
you are the struggle. Anyways,
I am the struggle.
LMAO,
How am I
Yes.
struggling?
You're an
How am I
icon.
struggling?
you're struggling to keep up the conversation because you literally you were rude
How am I
first, and I
struggling?
called you
I
a
just
twink
asked
after.
you a
This is what I
question.
don't like these victim Olympics. How do you talk shit first and then get called a twink and you're like, did you seriously call me a twink?
Victim
You
Girl,
came here
Olympics.
with your
That's
bitch
fucking
attitude.
wild.
You know
She
what's
is
funny?
hopped
In the
up
comments,
on
I literally saw
something.
your comment. You're like, let me get at her. Let me get at her. Like, I'm what? A piece of meat?
Because
Like,
you
calm the
no,
fuck
you
down.
mentioned non-binary, so I
I'm
was
not an
gonna
attractive
contribute.
straight male. You don't have
I'm
to
non-binary,
get on
by the
me.
way.
Like, get
Excuse
off.
me. Joke's on you. I'm engaged to a bisexual man. You can cry that you're single and never
And
will
he's
find
probably
someone.
ugly. Anyways.
Actually, no, he's not. You can check out my videos. He's more handsome than any man
Does he have
or
a beard?
woman
Does
that
he
you
have a
will
beard? I
find.
need to check.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Does he wear glasses too? I didn't even
Okay,
look
what
yet.
about you? Hide behind your
Oh my
screen, you
God,
little
call
bitch.
me psychic or prophetic. I said this. I was right.
Turn your
Of
camera
course,
on.
do you know how I can
Turn your
predict that
camera
the only
on.
man that finds you attractive?
Turn
Obviously.
your camera on, you little screen patriot.
I
Turn your
can't.
camera
I don't have
on.
permissions.
You don't have permissions. You can
I have
change
less
your
than 1,000
profile
followers. Did
photo.
you not see my followers? Are you stupid?
I'm not
Why is
stupid. I have a
she
lot more
so
followers
mean?
than you. I have a lot more people
Exactly.
that
A
like
lot
me
of more
than you.
sheep.
They're
Yeah.
not.
I
They're
can't
not.
physically turn my camera on. The app won't let me. Like, I'm not even lying.
I know there's a reason that you don't upload any videos. I know.
Exactly.
I have a private account that I don't need any of you bums looking at.
Oh, okay. There's a
need to
reason it's
prove
private.
Katie, do you really want to talk about looks? If I just
Yeah.
peeped, then my hypothetical about you having a big butt just because you're overweight could be true. And if I'm right,
You think
then
I'm overweight?
no, now show the butt. That's so big. That's so great. That's so vivacious.
Leslie, I'm not gonna put my butt on Emily's live
But
because
you're
I don't
gonna
want
strip
Emily
a
to get
stripper
in
pole on your
trouble,
page,
but-
right? You're only gonna degrade yourself when you feel like it. Got it.
Yeah, but I just want to ask you, am I overweight? No.
No, I was wrong. You just sounded.
Exactly.
look amazing.
What?
Wait. She can't
What
admit
does
that
Katie,
she's wrong.
stop.
Sound like?
She
How
can't
is
admit
that
she's
even
wrong.
a sound? What?
She can't even admit that she's wrong, and she's talking out of her
So
ass.
where's the ass?
sound
All I
fat.
see
Oh
is
my God, by the
plank.
way,
I see
I'm
a
so
plank. Where's the
insecure.
butt? I
I'm
don't see
so-
the ass.
hold
So
on,
she keeps
LMAO.
talking about having a big butt.
Why are
LMAO,
you
I
so
need-
obsessed?
Because she wanted to prove I said something that was hilarious and correct, was that she was flat and that she said if it's just a pain in her, I was a pain in her ass. So she insulted me first. Then I said she didn't have an ass. Now she wants to say that she has one in order to prove her stupid little joke, which, like I told you, she doesn't have one.
LMAO, can I
That's
ask
what
you a
she
question?
does.
Can I ask you a question real quick? How does
Is
someone
it gonna be
sound fat?
dumb?
No, how does someone sound fat? Because you're the one that said it.
It was sarcasm. It wasn't legit. Are you gonna question
No,
everything
can
I
you
said?
answer?
Right, so you did just call me, you just assumed that I was fat for like no reason. Anyway, I just want to say, like, I would like you to insult my looks more because you are actually my prime demographic. for
Like I
people that
said,
wanna impress
Katie,
with
you
my-
like to be degraded. I'm not gonna give you that. I know you
I
have a
do,
kink for
please.
something. You're
Please,
a
I
stripper,
crave-
right? Like
I
you already
crave
you
your
already do
approval.
this in your job. So I don't know.
Oh, I'm so
No,
sorry.
wait,
I
pole
prefer
dancing isn't my
people
job.
that like to call people that word because pole dancing is actually a great workout and doesn't mean that you take
that's
off
why
your
I do it.
clothes for a job.
Yep, that's why I do it. It's not my job.
Maybe we shouldn't stigmatize other femme presenting people. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe we should be uplifting each other instead of just being.
Y'all talk
whatever
about
that
uplifting, but
is.
Katie's been insulting too. You guys are such jokes.
You're the one that started it, boo. We
Started
match
what?
energy.
Katie was the one that came at me because
We
she said, "Oh,
match
you're interrupting Artemis," and
energy.
she's been on this back and forth with me this entire time. So I don't
But you
understand.
just interrupted me. So, like, I was in the middle of a sentence. I love how yours needed to start in the middle of mine.
I ask
because
you a
you're talking about
question?
interrupting. If
Can I
it's
ask you a
respectful and
question?
actually intelligent, sure.
Okay, so were you not in the comments like, "Let me get at her"?
I was saying I want in on this beef because you
No,
mentioned
no,
non-binary
don't
individuals.
bar for bar. If we quote exactly what you said in the
Oh, I'll
comments,
scroll
what did you
up.
say?
I'll scroll up. I'll scroll up and look because I
Scroll
literally.
up, and then
I
you
want
tell me
up.
that I was wrong when I said that you came here to start shit with me, and that's why I called you a twink. It's
You
how
called me
hard
a
is that?
twink,
I thought we
but
have normal
literally I
capacitive
mentioned
brains that make this like. Are we making stuff
For
up now?
starters, I would just like to say that in no way, shape, or form is calling someone a twink an insult. I find twinks very, attractive.
Exactly. So why are you insulted? Emily loves you.
No,
That's all that
because
matters.
you were using it. You were using it as an insult, but it's not even an insult.
How is it an
you
insult?
failed.
you were
You
using it in a
failed.
negative connotation.
What's negative about? I was just doing an observation. No, I
Wait,
said
wait,
you're a
wait,
twink.
wait.
You
I think we
mentioned
may-
because I was a queer individual that I'm a twink. You automatically made that correlation and you used it
Are
in a
some
negative
queer individuals
aspect.
not twinks?
Some are. Why did you automatically associate that I was?
You're a presenting twink. You look like a
Right,
twink.
I think
No, I'm
someone.
So what are you,
someone-
masked?
Someone send me the $10. You've been voted off the island. W Jennifer in the
W me.
chat.
WU? Because somebody thinks that you're annoying enough to literally give someone money to not have to hear
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. That was wild.
That
like,
was so fun.
weird.
Actually, I really needed that.
I don't even like. I don't even like. What? Like, clearly they. I don't know.
You need to take a breather.
I have
Like to get her to take one.
That made me out of breath listening.
my golly. Look at Katie's drinking. I gotta take a drink for this.
Yeah, I don't know who was doing the muting, but that's a W mod right there.
Yeah, W.
I was in love with that. I was watching, and every single time from the comments, it was perfectly timed for us because it was a slight delay, and we were just listening, and it was like, da-da-da.
Hey, Katie, check Discord. Katie, check Discord.
That was perfect. I love that. W moderator.
Yeah, W mod. That was amazing.
I was
Oh my
making
God, we have a guest named Jesus. We have a guest named Jesus. This ought to be interesting. How old are you, Jesus?
I'm 18.
Birth year?
2006,
Month?
February.
Are you the literal Jesus? Am I in the presence of
No,
like...
it's actually Jesus, but thank you.
Oh, Jesus. Do you believe in the Jesus?
Yeah, kind of. I'm not super religious.
You're a Christian?
Well, yeah, my parents are.
You follow it? Okay.
Not
Do you have an
super
issue with the LGBTQIA plus community?
No, not usually, but sometimes. Like, here's the thing. I have an issue with the bathrooms. Because if I have kids eventually, I don't want my, 4-year-old daughter to be in the same bathroom with, someone who might be weird and transgender. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, weird and okay, that's an interesting choice of words to say.
What if
Weird
they're
and
just
transgender.
What if they're just trans? They're not weird.
Well, if they're not weird, then that's fine. But there's always going to be a
Okay, what if
chance.
they're cis and weird?
Well, I don't want that either. But I'm just saying.
So the issue here is
like-
just about people being weird, nothing to do with them being trans. Cool.
No, if she's weirded out by that, I don't want a man to be in the girl, like a biological man, like male, to be in the bathroom, in her bathroom. Do you know what I mean?
How would she know?
Because there's a difference in looks. If they're
Sometimes.
6'4", and like 200 pounds in the girl's bathroom, that's my problem with that.
I would say at 6'4", that's like a great weight for 6'4". That's like average of today's correlation.
6'4", full of muscle, like with a man's body, identifying as a girl. I just wouldn't want my kid to.
They would be very skinny though, because muscle mass weighs more than body fat. So like they would be a lot skinnier.
Yeah, muscle weighs more than fat, but but I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
6'4" man, actually, that's a little guy.
As a parent, you'd want to protect your kid, right? And for me, I don't want like my kid to be surrounded by that. I don't have anything against it, but I just want them to have the same childhood I had. You know what I mean?
You probably grew up around transgender people and didn't know it.
Yeah, have you ever just like actually met a transgender person?
I have, yeah.
All right, okay. Were they 6'4"?
No, they were 6'2".
All right, okay. Were they trans man or trans woman?
Trans man. But
Man, 6'2", hey, slay.
wait, they became a woman. What's that?
Trans woman.
Trans woman, yeah.
There's a misunderstanding there, but that's related. So
But that's my issue. I don't like people can be with.
my best friend is AFAB, so female, born female. They are 5'11".
Mm,
That's not that far off 6'2".
yeah.
Right. And like if they were decided to go into like weightlifting or something, right, they could probably get pretty jacked if they wanted to.
Yeah, but I'm just saying from
Would you
like
be uncomfortable with a cis woman who is, let's say 5'11", because I know a female is 5'11". Would you be uncomfortable if a 5'11" cis woman that was weightlifting and was super jacked was in the bathroom with your daughter?
no, but there's a big difference like physiologically in body types. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Well, if this cis woman works out and like is weightlifting, she's probably going to be stronger than the average man.
Yeah, for sure, but there's differences in trans people. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just like I just don't want my young kid to have to be introduced to that so young. Not when they're that young. When they're later in life, sure, but
Real quick, Jesus, what are those differences that you were talking about? That there's differences? You didn't list any. Do you mind listing?
Well, so if a man has someone who's born a man changes, and they have like surgeries, they're gonna have those cosmetic changes to appear as a woman. Do you know? Like,
but how would you what do you mean by differences? Like when a biological male gets plastic surgery to alter their appearance, like they could either alter their appearance to be masculine or feminine.
yeah. So if it's altering it to be feminine and it's like a man's body with female parts, I think I wouldn't want my kid to be like introduced that so young.
Wait, also, I'd
what
like to respond to a comment that's actually false misandry. Females do actually do those. They might be in a lower proportionality, but it's false to say that no biological females gray bar. I say that's just wrong.
Yeah. So when you say female parts, which parts are you talking about?
The chest usually.
Okay, so
I'm not like I don't want you to change my mind because you're probably not going to change my mind. But you asked what my issue is, and that is my issue.
Well,
not that everyone has to agree with it, but just
you're talking about like a male body with a female chest.
Yeah.
So have you seen female bodybuilders?
Yes.
Yeah. So how is your 4-year-old going to know the difference between a female bodybuilder versus like a trans woman who's had chest surgery?
It's different. Like,
how is your
female
bodybuilders? I'm not
bodybuilders?
asking you. I'm asking how your 4-year-old is going to know the difference, because you're saying that your 4-year-old being introduced to this is like an issue.
Because men have different facial features. They have different jaw structures. They have different. There's differences. I'm not like that's a fact.
Typically, yeah, sure. What if the trans woman has had facial feminization surgery?
You're saying what if this, what if that? Like,
Yeah.
the reality is most people don't, and I just wouldn't want my kid to have to be introduced that so young.
But Jesus, you're doing the same thing about what if my child in the future at 4 years old would go into the bathroom. You did like a whole what if.
Well, that's happening. It's becoming more common now.
Well, the thing is that typically transgender women who get things like chest surgery are also on HRT. Do you know the effects of HRT?
No. Is that hormone changes?
Yeah.
I mean, it lowers testosterone, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Do you know like the other physiological effects that you can actually like see?
Well, you lose muscle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna have like an overall feminizing effect.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, that's just my there's differences, and when I was a kid, I think I saw someone in like a Taco Bell or something, and I was a bit weirded out. Not that I'm not against it or anything, and I'm not saying people shouldn't be trans. I'm just saying, as a parent, I wouldn't want my kid to be introduced to that, and it shouldn't be forced on them as well. Like, there should be a private. Sorry.
What's the effect gonna be if your kid sees a trans person?
I have no clue.
What was the effect on you?
I was kind of weirded out. I asked a lot of questions,
And then what?
Well, I kind of found it weird that they were in the men's bathroom.
Right. But I'm guessing you're all right.
Yeah, I'm fine now, but I just don't want that for my kid. I'm not against it or anything. I'm just saying my kid should have a private area that's
Well,
like,
you're talking about public bathrooms.
yeah, but there's male and female bathrooms.
There's
I
men's
just
and
think,
women's bathrooms, and anyone can walk into either.
well, not legally.
Yes, in most places, yes.
In my state, they legally can.
In my state, they can too.
I'm in
Well,
Scotland, and there's no laws around.
I don't agree with that either, but that's
Wait,
my problem with it. I'm not trying to
maybe-
argue like it's bad. I'm just saying that's my issue.
Do you think there have been laws on bathrooms or something like that? That is something that has always existed.
Do I think? I mean, male bathrooms are for
I've never
men
seen a male
typically.
bathroom. Never seen a male bathroom. I've seen a men's bathroom.
What is it specific about a trans woman that like you don't want your child to be around?
No, it's not be around. It's just like if they're in a women's bathroom.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? They're a woman. Trans women are women, so what's the problem?
It's just different. I don't need to, like, I'm not trying to have you change my mind.
How is it different?
Because they look different.
Oh, so if a cis woman looks different, then they're not allowed in.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're basing it on someone looking different. So
Yeah.
if a cis woman looks really masculine, and you could mistake them for a man, but they're actually a cis woman, are you gonna tell that cis woman to leave the bathroom?
No, I'm just telling you, I don't want
No.
my kid to
So
be
then
around.
you don't have an objective measure or a metric in order to really reliably base this opinion on. It's based on nothing but illogical fear.
Like, I know you keep saying, like, I'm not against, like, trans people and stuff like that, but this is blatant prejudice.
Yeah,
Not
it's
really,
irrational,
because
it's
I
illogical.
don't.
You don't have
It really
an
is.
actual opinion. You don't actually have a credible opinion to stand by when you have this belief system. It's nothing but transphobia.
It's not transphobia. I'm fine with.
It is
No,
I'm fine with
transphobia.
everyone.
It is.
People.
You're showing an aversion to trans people by saying you don't want your kid to be in the bathroom with one, but you have no reason.
My reason is I don't want any changes to happen to her development.
What
What would
changes are
happen
going
to
to
our
occur to their development because of a trans woman? Are we serious? Be so fucking for real.
Well,
What changes?
trauma can,
Like, how do you think just seeing a trans woman in a bathroom is going to affect her development?
trauma can happen.
I just
Like what? What is
Trauma is
traumatic
going to
about
happen
that?
by just seeing a trans woman in the bathroom.
I don't know because I haven't experienced it, but I know people who have.
What is traumatic about it?
I just want to say this really quickly, please. This is giving the same energy as better not let a woman read because of the things she might think of or the questions she might ask. Like this is what it's. I'm sorry, but like this is what it's reminding me of. Is that literally like how dare like a woman should not get an education because she might like wonder about things outside of her specific like area. Like I'm sorry, but like people exist in the real world. If you don't want your child experiencing people who exist in the real world, then make sure they're not in those situations.
Someone in the comments said Jesus was scared by, traumatized by meeting trans people. I just don't want. People with male genitalia should use the male bathroom. People with female genitalia should use the female bathroom.
Real question.
So you'd welcome trans men into the bathroom who look identical to cis men? You'd be comfortable with that around your daughter?
Do they have male genitalia or are they born?
Some could have
Typically, you
female.
don't
Some could
know.
have, sorry, some could have female genitalia, but they look identical to cis men. But in order for you to verify that, you'd have to do something that violates somebody, which we're not condoning at all. So like, you'd welcome like this big hunky tattooed with hair on there looking man into the women's bathroom around your daughter. Are we serious? Be so fucking for real.
No, I wouldn't be fine with that. Well, I
Oh,
didn't say
well,
that.
why not? They have female genitalia.
Yeah, but they're born a man.
No.
Yeah, but your criteria
No,
was
no, no, no,
genitalia.
no, no,
Are
no.
we
You're
changing
confused. Sorry,
the
he's
goalposts
confused.
now?
Hold on, Emily. Sorry, he's confused. We're talking about trans men. You said people with female genitalia should use the quote unquote female bathroom, right? So that's gonna be some trans men who could, as Emily said, be big muscular guys with tattoos and facial hair, but they could still have female genitalia.
Yeah.
So you want those people in the female bathroom.
Wait. People who are born that way or people who change
People
that?
born with female genitalia who are
Yeah.
trans men,
Use the female bathroom.
even though they look like that. Like,
Even though they look like a 6'2" man walking in.
you want that guy in the women's
That's a
bathroom?
guy. Wait, no, that's a girl.
That is a
No,
man.
female.
What are they born as?
Female.
I was born a female?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yep. You can see the scarring right here from breast reduction.
I also want to just hold on one second.
I could pull up many other photos. So also.
Wait, someone was gonna say something. That's 1 second.
This.
Yeah, like. I mean, like even Lath. Lath is.
And also, like, I just want to, because I feel like you actually don't know what trans people look like. So, like, I have no idea what genitalia this person has.
Wait,
Like,
okay, but you're showing these people that look like they changed well. But the people that I've seen in public are very noticeable. You know,
yeah, and you still don't know what genitalia they have.
no,
So
I
I'm
don't,
saying,
but I
like,
know.
I don't know if this person has female or male genitalia. Which bathroom should this person go into? Because
I have
typically,
no clue, but
when you see people in the bathroom, you don't know what genitalia they have either.
No.
So you would just be assuming based on the way they're presenting. So which bathroom should this person go into?
I have no clue, but what I'm saying at the beginning, so I said if they look weird, and it kind of sounds mean, but so the people that I've seen look like me, I'm gonna say, like, like a male with a female chest and wearing a bra, and it's like not a very subtle. It's a very subtle change, and they're, eh, saying it looked weird.
Sure.
Is
So
kinda
the
mean,
point
but
bringing up these people is that passing is subjective because I've been told I don't know what you think, but I've been told that I look like a male
I don't think that.
anytime.
But do you know what I'm saying?
No, because what you're saying doesn't matter because people have told me that I look like a male. Also, there are cisgender women who are bodybuilders or athletes that could easily be mistaken for male as well.
I have people call me ma'am all the time because I am a biological male that identifies as non-binary, and people perceive me as a woman or a lesbian presenting female and all this, and I've been called ma'am at least 6 times just today at work. So, like, where are we going to form a basis of a social norm of if you wanted to, like, ban trans people from the restroom or anything? How would you be able to create a basis to, like, make a ruling on that? What qualifications would someone have to fall into?
No, I'm not saying that there should be like a limit or like a cutoff. I'm just like
We're
there shouldn't
giving
be
you
a
the
law,
law and the
people
logic.
should use what they want to, but the question was what is your issue, and that is my issue. Not that anything
and your issue is completely flawed because you wouldn't hold these standards against cisgender women who are highly masculine presenting. And also, like, I want to, like, you just said, and I have one of my sister's kids is non-binary. They are AFAB. They used to have a shaved head. They got dirty looks in the women's bathroom
Yeah.
because
I'm not saying that there should be a
they were mistaken for male consistently. So that's our point here: is that the judgment that you're using to highlight trans people would apply to many other people, but you wouldn't hold the same standard to them.
well, it goes with the same thing as if there's like a biological man who identifies as a man and is being weird and dressed super inappropriate in the bathroom and doing inappropriate things. It's the same thing. You know what I mean?
I'm so confused by that damn statement. Like,
Like,
how would
it's
someone
not.
wait, how would someone only be able to dress provocatively in the bathroom when we're talking about
No, okay, so if someone, like, if there's a man wearing, like, a really inappropriate t-shirt.
Sure. Well, this is like you're bringing up other aspects, but when it comes to
No,
trans
for sure,
people,
but I'm saying, like,
when it
that would also make me uncomfortable. So it's not
yes,
only,
but when
like,
it comes to trans people, it's just the fact that they're trans people.
no, it's if they're, like, the photos that you brought up, I don't have a problem with, because they're not, like, if there's a guy wearing.
My point, we've already addressed that. My point to you is that that is completely subjective. Like I said, you think that I look female. I've been told plenty of times that I look male. My family member is female. They are a non-binary individual, but they are female, and they
You're
would
right,
get
it is
dirty
subjective.
looks.
My opinion is subjective.
Right.
I
So
don't
you
want my
can't
kid.
apply the standard because of the fact that this is completely subjective, and even you could easily mistake somebody who is a cisgender woman for a trans woman if they're like super buff or something.
Definitely, but it's subjective because that's what I don't want for my kid. Not
Yeah.
just against
Do you
trans people.
also not
Wait.
want your child to be around a cisgender woman who's a bodybuilder because that might confuse them?
Someone who's jacked and uses steroids? No.
No, I'm just saying a cisgender woman who is a bodybuilder.
Depends how big they are.
Why?
If they're using steroids and creating unrealistic images, yeah.
Have you seen cisgender bodybuilders?
I have.
They're all creating unrealistic body images, regardless of whether or not they're on steroids.
See, I've seen some with steroids that are not realistic.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that's what I want for my kids, to not be around anyone who's weird. And that includes some of the
Guess what?
transgender
There are
people.
people that you're gonna find weird in the world, and your kid's gonna engage.
That's a little ableist of you as well.
Yeah,
For sure, there's people, but I'm just saying, the question is, what is your issue?
That's
That
not
is my
very
issue.
Christian of you.
Yeah, okay, well, hold on. I've been on mute for a while and I've been listening. And to be honest with you, this sounds like a very irrational position that you have. And you keep saying that you don't expect anybody to change your mind and that you're not even here to change your mind, which understood. But you sound irrational to me. Like, and I'm not meaning that in like an ableist sense or like that. Like, you literally saying you don't want quote unquote weird people around your child, and we're going so far as to list people who are just like who work out a lot and who are bodybuilders or people who might be wearing a shirt that says something inappropriate. At this point, I have to ask your theoretical child: are they going to leave the indoors? Are they going to go into the world at all? Are they going to be able to go with you to the grocery store? Or go with you to like through even a parking lot or school? Because at this point, I feel like you're literally wanting to keep your child indoors for 24/7 because there might be somebody they might see that might be not something that you want them to interact with. Like, it just seems to me like you want your child to never leave their home.
No, I want my child to have the same growth and development that I did. And of course, you're gonna meet weird people.
You need to answer this. How do you think just seeing these people that are quote unquote weird out in the world is going to affect your child's development?
I don't know, and I don't want to find out.
It won't.
That's why I'm saying this is irrational. Like,
Right.
this is
and then you reference trauma after that. Just
It might
someone
be.
sorry, talking. Someone just using the bathroom that looks different isn't going to traumatize anybody. Especially not if they're, allowed to engage in the world regularly and know that there are people that look different kind of ways.
I agree that it might be an irrational argument, but that's my position.
So you know that you're irrational.
It doesn't have to be rational. It's what I want for my kid.
I just
and that's
Parents choose what's best for them.
That's gonna result in helicopter parenting.
And that's by the way, that's what my parents did for me as well, and that's what I want for my kid as well.
Well,
Yeah, that's not good.
Wait, you still experienced things. You were still in the world, so obviously they didn't parent you the way that you're talking about being parented, that you're wanting to parent.
When I was a child, like from 4 to like 12 until I got like to like 13, 14, they protected me and sheltered me from a lot of that stuff, and I'm glad they
Yeah,
did.
and you have these type of bigoted views, which is not. I don't think it turned out well for you.
It
I'm
goes
not gonna
beyond
lie.
bigotry at this point. Like I mean, I mean, also like Emily, it goes beyond bigotry at this point. This is highly irrational, and I would even say this is not even like helicopter parenting. This is talking about wanting to control every element of your child's being to
It's
the
a
point
little
where
abusive.
Well,
yeah.
actually, I have people who are part of the community that agree with me.
No,
So.
no.
Your parenting is very abusive.
You're saying that your parents
Protecting.
protected you from seeing the kinds of people that exist in the world.
To be honest, I really don't think that you should be having children if this is how you want to raise them.
Like, people come in all
Protecting
shapes
them.
and sizes.
Yes,
I mean,
people
it's
do.
actually really
Should be
damaging
protected
for a
from any
child to
bit.
be brought into an environment like that.
You're saying that people
It's
should
damaging for a kid to be forced into a community that they don't know anything
nobody's
about. They don't want to.
nobody's arguing
forcing
that people should be
anything.
forced anything, but I just want to say, like, you're saying that you were protected from seeing people that weren't the average.
Yes, and I was kept away from communities that were harming to me.
I would say that you were actually in a community that was harming you. I would actually say that you were literally describing a harmful community by what you're talking about.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
everyone.
you've been brainwashed into thinking that the community that you were raised in was actually good and the other side were bad. It's the other way around, my guy.
No, I'm actually very happy with how my parents raised me, and that's how I want to raise my kids.
Yeah,
And I don't think
that's because you've been brainwashed into thinking that way. But actually, I'm telling you right now, the way that you want to raise your child like that, it's very abusive. To shelter someone so much because you don't understand different communities or different ways of life is extremely sheltering and will do nothing but harm your child. I promise you that.
bringing a 4-year-old to a pride parade is not the way to expose them, and bringing them purposely
that?
exposing them.
Did we say that?
No, but you're saying sheltering them this hard. I want to shelter them enough. Not look. I want to protect them.
It's over the top, and I pray that you never have children.
You were talking about sheltering them from public restrooms, but real quick, hold on a second, and I'll let you go.
Pray that I never have children.
Hold on. Okay, hold on a second. There is a trans man that would like to come up and speak to Jesus, Al, if that's okay. I just wanted to go ahead and say that. Al's a friend of mine, very good friend. I want to make sure that he got up here in a
Shit. I didn't mean to invite Scott, my bad.
Okay, bye, Scott.
Hi, Jesus. How's it going?
Good. Thanks.
Good. So, my name's Al. I'm currently a pre-transition trans male. I'm just curious how your life has been altered in the 2 seconds I've been up here.
It hasn't.
Oh,
okay, cool.
By the way, I'm trans non-binary, so it should have been like you should be fully traumatized right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just asking because like this is pretty much the extent of what your kids would have to deal with. Would be just, hey, how are you? Hi, who are you? My name's Al. Cool. My name's Bethany. Okay, cool. Do you want to hang out? Yeah, sure. Yep. I'm pre-transition, right? So if I went into the bathroom, you're going to see that if I went into the men's bathroom, you are going to see that I have a female, semi-female physique, because I'm definitely more masculine, and huge, what I like to call chesticles. And so, at the end of the day, the only thing you need to say to your kids is, you know what? Sometimes people look a little bit different than what we expect. And this person looks like this, and that person looks like that. And, stop conflating boobs to female. Like, I don't understand what the big deal is about it. Like,
no, for sure. But I think that should happen at an age when kids are able to think cognitively. When you're like
cool, that's about 2.
Did you just say think cognitively?
Yeah, like start making rational decisions.
Okay, I just want to let you know, cognitive means thinking.
Yeah. Hey, Demi.
Hi, Demi. Good to see you.
Hello, everyone.
Sorry, I think a lot of people don't know what the word cognitive actually means, so I just wanted you to know that, like, think cognitively doesn't...
Yeah, so when they can start thinking and making rational decisions.
Cool. So, about the age of 2 or 3?
I don't think
When they can put
2
their
and
hand on a
3-year-olds can
stove and
make.
go, that's hot.
I don't think 2 and 3-year-olds can make rational decisions.
I just want to know why making decisions is relevant to them just seeing trans people.
I think there's a time and place for it. I don't think they should be
I asked you a specific question.
Wait, sorry, say it again.
Why is decision making relevant to just witnessing trans people exist?
Decision making, so they can come up with their own opinions about it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Yeah.
That's opinions are not the same as decisions.
It's like I wouldn't take my 4-year-old to a gun range.
Opinions are not the same as decisions.
Can I ask Jesus a question real quick?
Yeah.
Hey, Jesus, I'm not sure if you remember me from Tweeners Live last night. Are you just conducting a general survey, or did we not inform you enough last night? Because this is pretty much the same question that you had last night.
So wait, sorry, what?
This is pretty much the same conversation we had with you last night. So are you just conducting a survey, or I'm confused because we answered your questions last night. Why are you
I just want
continuing to ask them?
So this question is, what is your issue with the LGBTQIA?
Right, and you're back on the trans topic, which we discussed on Tweeners Live last night.
Yeah, but it didn't change my opinion, and I'm not here for my opinion to change. The question is, what is?
So
your...
you're not here. Thank you, Al. Yeah. So if you're
Because
not here to have your opinion changed, why are you
Okay,
here
so
engaging?
I'm answering the question.
You went into a live last night and didn't have your opinion changed.
Yep.
So why do you need to take up airtime on another live for absolutely no reason?
Because the question is asking me, what is your issue?
Why are you wasting our time?
Because the question asked me, so I'm going to answer the question.
I hope you get castrated.
Whoa.
No, we don't do that. We are
That's
better
another
than that.
issue. Violence.
Yeah, you guys can be just as violent, and I'm literally correcting it, so I don't need you jumping in and trying to make a big deal about it. We are better than that. We don't need to say that. But no, I absolutely agree with my panel here, is if there is nothing, no education that can change your mind in any way, shape, or form, there is no reason for you to come up here and even have the conversations, because your issues are arbitrary with the LGBTQIA community, and you don't want to learn about the LGBTQIA community. You don't want to know the history. You don't want to really even associate with those that exist. So there's no actual point in you participating in this live.
Well, first of all, I want everyone to be who they want to be, and that includes LGBT. I respect everyone, and people should have the freedom to do what they want. I don't have a hatred. That's for my kids.
No,
That's what I had.
You have a prejudice.
That's what I had. And maybe you don't like what my parents did, but that's what I want for my kids. And I wouldn't tell you what to do with your kids.
Yeah, I don't think teaching hatred or prejudice against another group is a good thing.
No, it's not
parents
teaching.
should pass
It's
down to their
protection.
children. You just said you got it from your parents. They taught you to have a prejudice against trans people or
I
anybody.
don't have a
realistic.
prejudice. I just said
You just said you don't want to teach about them to your kids.
No,
It is an ingrained
that's not what I'm
prejudice
saying.
that your parents taught you.
I don't want my kids.
That's not conducive to a healthy society.
You don't want your kids to know about anyone that isn't average, is the thing. You said like a female bodybuilder who's just like jacked. You wouldn't even want them exposed to that.
I'm saying there's an age. There's an age for voting. There's an age to own a gun. There's an age to do things.
Okay, so let me go ahead, Al. I'll go after you.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, there's an age to view other human beings in the wild, just living their lives.
By the way, I want to point out also a very good point out, but every single person up here, other than me or Emily, is trans.
Okay.
So this must be shocking.
No, that's fine with me. And like I've said before, I don't have an
I just
issue
want to make
with
sure that
trans
we were all
people.
okay. I just was doing a check-in. You said this was going to be traumatizing, and I just wanted to make sure that you weren't having trauma inflicted upon you.
So I want to follow this train of logic. So you're saying that being introduced to the LGBTQIA community, there should be an age for it. Can I get that general age? What age should somebody be able to be introduced to the concept that people can love those of the same sex, that people can be their gender identity cannot match their born sex, that intersex people exist. What age is acceptable for that, so
I'm
I
gonna
can move
say
forward?
8 to 10 is when my parents and my well, for me it was like 12, but 8 to 10 is, when you should start being like, hey, start teaching them. And once again, you're saying I hate trans people, and I
I
hate.
didn't
one said that.
I didn't say that, and that's
No,
not what I'm
No,
no
what you
one.
that's
guys are
not
saying, I'm prejudiced against
I
Yeah,
I
trans
I
community.
have hold on. I haven't said that. I don't know what anyone else in the panel has said.
Well,
I will let them correct that in a minute. So you're giving me 8 to 10 as a general age, right? Do you hold that same thing for, say, something like Christianity? Children shouldn't learn anything about Christianity until the ages of 8 to 10.
actually, yes.
Children shouldn't learn about indigenous people until the ages of 8 to 10.
No.
Well, why? Indigenous people are a minority and they're different.
Yeah, obviously
Wait,
there's
what?
differences, but I also wouldn't let my kids go to a shooting range and be introduced to
that's
guns and
not. Can you
violence.
engage with the question that you were
That
asked?
that is
Trans
literally.
people and pew-pews are
Oh,
not the same.
I
oh,
I
never
was
said
going to
that.
say that yeah, you're making a disingenuous argument when you bring up a shooting range that has nothing to do with it. And I wouldn't bring a child, for example, I wouldn't bring a child to a shooting range until they're 18, but I was somebody in the military and I have issues with pew-pews myself. That has nothing to do with it. That is not the conversation we're having. We are talking about living, breathing human beings that exist within our society that somebody may walk by and have questions about. Is your answer to literally say, no, we can't talk about that now, you're only 6 years old?
Yes. When so whenever I had like a question like, oh, how are babies made? When I asked it like when I was 6 years old, my mom would say, well, when parents love each other, you get a baby. That was it. And I'm glad they didn't go into all the
Right.
details.
So they gave you an age appropriate answer. So if you want, Katie, go ahead, Katie. I don't want
I'm
to take
sorry.
over this whole thing.
I'm sorry. No, it's just because he actually didn't answer your previous question, and I would really like that answered. Why
Sure.
would it be, why would it be okay for your child to know that indigenous people exist?
Because it's different. You're comparing two things that are
What's
not the
different?
same.
What's the difference?
No, I'm actually directly comparing two minorities.
Can
I
you
did that. I
identify,
did
can
that
you
for a
become an
reason.
indigenous person?
You
Do you
can't be,
think that do you
you
think that
can't
being
become
trans
trans. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Go ahead, Katie. I'll be
Wait,
quiet.
what
You
was the
got this.
question?
do you think that being trans is a decision?
Personally, I actually don't know because I haven't. For me, it would be a decision. I don't know about other people.
It's not. It's not a decision. Being trans. This is the reason that that question was so relevant. Being trans and being indigenous are both immutable traits. They are not changeable.
But I could change right now.
No,
That
no,
To
would
you
what?
can
make you
change.
trans.
You
Please
can
define
change. You
transgender.
can absolutely change aspects of yourself. That's not going to make you trans.
But you
Being
weren't
trans,
born
being
transgender.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Can you define the word transgender for me real quick?
Oh, I had this question yesterday. Trans means across, and gender means someone who doesn't identify.
No, Katie
Like,
asked
so,
you to
wait, wait, wait,
define
wait,
Word
wait.
hold
transgender.
Someone's
on.
gender
Transgender, not
identity
trans. Two
who
different
doesn't.
words.
Yeah, someone's gender identity doesn't match with their sex.
Sure.
Right. So nothing to do with changing.
Now,
Yes, but when you were.
hold on. A
Sorry.
transgender individual may go through things that do cause changes, but they were already trans before that. A trans individual is trans before before they even recognize it themselves,
For sure, but when.
because they don't have the articulation to express how they are feeling, but it is still already there. Now, going through HRT, possibly puberty blockers, possibly surgery, because these are all things that can come from being trans. And those are decisions to move forward. But I would say those are about the same level of decision as myself being an asthmatic, of quote, choosing to use my inhaler. So I can choose to live a very unhealthy, unsatisfying life and, possibly risk unalivement due to not taking my inhaler during asthmatic attacks, or I can take my inhaler as prescribed by my doctors. Being trans, I'm already there. I can choose to, literally not want to exist on this planet, but who's going to willingly make that choice? I'm going to choose to move forward and be the happiest person I am. And when I understand that I am trans, I'm going to move forward with the necessary steps to help improve my life, the same as anybody else would do with some type of medical condition. And I would say you can classify being transgender as a medical condition because we understand it comes from an incongruence between your brain and your body.
Yeah, but when you're 0, when you were like just born, you don't know you're not trans.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
You
you
have
are.
you already have the predisposition.
Yeah, you also wouldn't know if you were cis as
But how
0.
you're raised has a
Not knowing wouldn't be relevant because no one knows their gender until typically between the ages of 3 and 7.
Here, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
So when you're born, are you allergic to strawberries, or are you only allergic to strawberries the first time you try a strawberry and you have an allergic reaction?
Well, actually, it depends because you can develop allergies.
In general, yes, you are correct. Every 7 years, your body can absolutely take on a new thing. So maybe
Yeah.
that is it. I will actually give you that one is disanalogous. So I will rescind my statement on that
Yeah.
one because
But all
allergies
I'm
are
saying is
something you
like,
can develop.
but like when, I think, so you can agree that the way you're brought up plays a role in who you are, right?
No, I would say the way because
Some aspects.
conversion, we have conversion camps that have been proven to not work in any way, shape, or form. Um, they can shape how you act. They may shape some of your mannerisms, but they're not going to shape the core of who you are, i.e., who you're attracted to, whether you're trans or not. Otherwise, pretty much every LGBTQIA person would be cis, hetero, and straight.
So, but if I was brought up in a super far right conservative household, I would be super far right conservative. And if I was
Wait,
born
no,
in a super
no,
far
no. I
left,
was
That's
I
not
was brought up in
comparable.
a conservative household.
That's also not comparable because that would be a mutable trait. We're talking about immutable traits right now.
oh, I was just saying like who you are has a lot to do with what you grow, like how you grow up and who you grow up
Yes,
around.
in certain aspects, but
Yeah,
not
yeah,
all.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
But not all.
Yeah,
And transgender is not one of those.
Like I use the example I was brought up Christian, Protestant and Christian.
yeah,
I'm not a Protestant or a Christian in any capacity of the word because when I started thinking for myself, I realized this didn't work. But that is something totally different, which is why I don't bring that up very often.
yeah,
You can't teach someone their core, who they are at their core. So as a child, I could not teach you to be gay. A GAY, excuse me, TikTok for educational purposes. I know TikTok has a problem with that word for some reason. Don't ask me why. I could teach you age appropriate that yes, it's okay for two men to like each other or two males, however you want to put it.
yeah,
I can when you get to the appropriate age for sex ed, it could be taught how two males can possibly, go through further. That is
yeah,
age
yeah. Wait,
appropriate,
yes,
but
age
none of
appropriate.
that is going to change who you are. You're already going to have that predisposition to being attracted to women if you're straight. Or you're already going to have been going, ooh, yeah, this kind of all makes sense now because I've been wondering why something's wrong with me because I've never found women attractive. All my friends are finding women attractive and they won't shut up about them.
Yeah,
But I found, say, my best friend attractive, or Channing Tatum, or whatever other guy you can think of. I usually use Deadpool. What's it? Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, Ryan Reynolds. Yes, Golden Standard. Thank you.
Or Ryan
As
Gosling.
or Ryan Gosling, or whatever it is, and it. As the more you can accept yourself and have the understanding of it, the more you just realize, oh, that's who I am. I
Definitely.
don't think anybody would willingly, even if it was if this is one of the reasons I can't fathom why people think it's a choice. Who would willingly choose to put themselves into a marginalized community that is ostracized and is still does not have the same rights as their cis hetero
Well,
Wait, can
counterparts?
I jump in and
the,
say something?
Sure,
the,
I'm sorry, I talked a
No, no,
lot.
you're good, you're good. One comment was, are murderers born as murderers?
No, typically not.
mm-mm.
So, but that goes to the same thing. So that's if, like Ted Bundy, do you think Ted Bundy before he was even
So
as soon as he came out the womb, was he guaranteed to kill people?
Yeah, so this is the
you got
distinction
first off,
between.
you got hold on 1 second. First off,
Yep.
you have to say on a live we are on
Oh,
TikTok,
sorry,
and now you'll be quiet.
Yeah, there's a distinction. This is why I keep pointing you back to this. There's a distinction between mutable and immutable traits. There are some things that are highly influenced by your environment.
Yes.
And there are other things that are not highly influenced by your environment.
But there was one of my
All of the evidence that we have suggests that being transgender or being LGBTQIA, just if you're a lesbian, gay, any of that, is much more highly influenced by biological predispositions. Now, there are also biological predispositions that may make someone slightly more likely to have certain behaviors like aggression and things like that. But the evidence would show that these are more influenced by environment.
Also, we know that is a separate part of the brain, and we have a multitude of studies that show that being a serial unaliver is highly likely to trauma.
Yeah.
Also,
I did want to say one other thing.
I was going to say, not so fun fact. We did look at Ted Bundy's brain, and we didn't find anything of interest. So, yeah. So obviously, we didn't find any markers.
They ruled out any markers and associated it to Ted Bundy's trauma.
Yeah, I know that Usman is waiting to talk. I just wanted to say one other thing on Dami's point about whether or not it's a choice. If it was a choice, then why has conversion in therapy never worked? Because if I had the choice to turn around and stop being attracted to multiple genders, and I was being put through literal torture, I would choose to just stop. But it's never worked.
But I have a lot of not a lot. I have one friend from back home who realized he was gay, like he was dating women, and then at like 17, then he changed because he just stopped being attracted to women.
So he came out.
Yeah.
So that was adapted, though. Do you know?
One second. I think Usman has been trying to say something. Let Usman go ahead.
Hey everyone. I just have a few seconds. So, Jesus, I wanted to point out some things that you mentioned that don't make sense, that you're contradicting yourself. Demi brought up an interesting point with asthma or an allergy, and you said they can develop later in life. So you yourself know that things that are not choices, obviously you don't think having an allergy is a choice, can develop later on in life. Just because it happens later on in life doesn't mean that it was a choice. You yourself know that because you knew allergies develop later in life. Number two, do you think a trans person can be an elementary school teacher? I have a question for you about that.
That's a tough. I haven't actually thought about. Wait, trans person being elementary. I would say no.
See, now that is textbook definition. That would actually be illegal discrimination according to like every human rights law.
I saw you put that in chat, and I was like, yes, I had this conversation with someone recently.
Yeah, like you kept saying, "Oh, I'm not prejudiced against them." Da 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 da. Like that's totally contradictory to you just stated your opinion right now. You would not let them be elementary school teachers. That is a clear example of discrimination. Anyways,
wait. I wouldn't. Not that I wouldn't let them. I wouldn't want my kid to be in that class.
Yeah, that would still be prejudice.
It's not prejudice because I would be able to have a conversation with that teacher.
That is prejudice. What would you say if a white person said, "I don't want a black person teaching my child"?
Well, that would be racist.
Right. So what you're saying is transphobic.
Not really.
Yes.
We need to go over the definition.
Comparison.
But that teacher should be able to understand my views. Like
no, they shouldn't actually.
Not everyone has to agree with everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like if I support.
When it comes to immutable traits,
Trump,
there is no.
Not everyone has to agree with me, and
when it comes to immutable traits, there should be no argument. There is no agree to disagree when it is a person's just existence.
Yeah. So if someone said, "I don't want my child to be in a classroom with a black teacher," are you saying that we should just accept that because they have different views?
No, but that's not the same.
No. Okay, it's analogous, right? You're telling somebody that it's justified for you to say that I don't want my kid to be in a classroom with a transgender teacher, but that's the same thing, right? Because somebody's gender identity is analogous to somebody's race, okay? Which means that that's something that they didn't choose. It's something that's inbuilt, something that they're born with, okay? So you're choosing something that they're born with against them. And that is transphobia.
I mean, I think it is something that would make you even like think about this even further. So like I like talking about like women and how women are viewed in society because I think it's really interesting. So like if for example a traditional family with their beliefs in Christianity came to a school and said, "I'm so sorry, I don't believe that women should be teachers. This goes against my faith, it's my belief systems, and I hope that you can accommodate for this." Do you think that this would be sexist?
Wait, sorry, say that again.
Do you think it would be sexist if a family with traditional Christian values came to a
Mhm.
school district and said, "Oh, I really hate to say this, but I want to make sure that my child does not have any women that are teachers because women shouldn't be teachers. They should be subservient to men. They should be lower than men.
Yes,
Therefore,
that's sexist.
why is that sexist? Because that's a part of their belief systems, and this is documented in the Bible as well. So why would this be different than you saying that you have a right to your belief systems because of trans people, but when another person who has a similar belief system says they don't want women to be teachers because this goes against their belief systems, you have contention with this?
Well, they should be allowed to their own opinion. I'm not gonna try and take their opinion away from them. I wouldn't agree with it. Just
But you
like you
just
aren't
said
agreeing
that the
with mine.
teacher should be understanding of your position as to why you would not want your child in their room. Do you think that the women who would be teachers at that school should be understanding of this family's position?
No, but I think
This
there's
is why I
different.
said you were irrational in the beginning. You don't have any logical consistency and you just are irrational. I respect everybody that has come up here and talked to you, but like at this point, like I don't think you have a rational worldview. I don't think you exist. I'm sorry, but like this is how I feel. I've been listening for quite a long time.
That's fine,
Artemis,
but
you
I
are
also
absolutely
don't.
correct, but I think the problem, the fundamental issue here is that Jesus doesn't have any idea about the science. And I think Demi and Aramis, you guys are probably the most qualified here to talk about the biological aspects of being transgender.
I don't have any issue going into that with Artemis, but at the same time, I will say that when I first started talking to, is it Jesus or Jesus?
Jesus.
Jesus. When I first started talking to Jesus, they specifically said that they don't have a willingness to change their minds. So going into the science isn't going to do anything. Now, I'm happy to do it for the rest of the chat. I'm happy everyone on the panel has heard me talk before, but I am at the point where defending my existence, Maki's existence, everybody else's in our community's existence, using the science to somebody that has no interest in it whatsoever and has no capacity to move forward no matter how much information they're given, for whatever reason. Uh, it's just a waste of breath at that point.
Who was it that was talking about rational?
Me, I was talking about you are not
But I
rational.
also think it's irrational to try and force everyone to have the same opinions as you. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Where is opinion coming into play with a trans person being an educator? Because I would say that you have a
Wait,
I
no.
understand.
So
I understand. Hold on. I've been very quiet this whole entire time. I've been listening to everything you said. I've been listening to what everyone's been talking to you about because I find this to be very interesting. From a scientific perspective, this doesn't make any sense to me. And from a psychological or sociological perspective, this doesn't make any sense to me. So a transgender individual who is an educator could literally be the best educator at that school, could be the best teacher for your child, no matter what. And you would still say that they aren't in a good position for your child because of your own personal belief systems and your opinion. I believe opinions are valid only if they have a factual basis for them, which I've yet to hear you substantiate. So I agree. People shouldn't be forcing people to do things. You would be forcing your child to actually suffer. Because if a transgender person was the best teacher at that school and was the best person to teach your child everything they needed to learn, you would still opt out of it, which would only do your child harm. So that's why I'm saying you're irrational. Is because you're so focused on transgender people and what you consider to be weird or not weird will be a detriment to your child going forward into the world, because there are too many different people with too many different belief systems with too many different opinions, and you just want to protect them, which I get it. But you're going to protect them at the detriment of their own mental health.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add on that and be like, you must acknowledge that some opinions are more valid than others. right? So like when you're saying, oh, you shouldn't force certain opinions, well, some opinions are gonna be pretty like harmful and absurd to promote and to condone, and we shouldn't stand behind that just because we want to accept somebody's opinion, because that just is not realistic, right?
I do want to add something to that, and Artemis might not talk to me for a day after that. Do you believe that people that still are of the opinion that the world is flat should be allowed to go around and spread that?
You're lucky I'm not on my main right now and I'm
I
doing
know.
paint by numbers because I would mute you in a heartbeat right now.
Wait, do you believe the Earth is flat?
No, I don't believe the Earth is flat because we have scientific evidence
No, I
that
mean
proves that it's
Artemis.
not. No, Artemis doesn't believe it either. But the amount of times that I've brought this up and somebody
Oh.
responds with "the world is flat," is a whole nother conversation in itself. So my question to you is, at one point in time, it was of people's opinions that the world was flat until we
Yeah.
had scientific evidence to prove that the world wasn't flat. And the people that were proving it were being unalived for going against society and proving the world's not flat. At this point, what we talk about up here, especially which was why it was brought up, is Artemis and I literally follow the science on a day by day basis, even when we have to change some of our talking points because some new piece of scientific evidence comes out. The difference is you are going purely off opinion, like does pineapple go on pizza? There's a place to have an opinion. Having an opinion that can be backed by scientific evidence and you're just saying no because it, quote, goes against your belief system makes no absolute sense, which is why people up here have been saying you're not being rational. Your talking points don't hold true to any other example that we give you. But when it comes back to an LGBTQIA person, and specifically it sounds like a trans person, you're like, no exception because it's, quote, against my belief. When you've been shown, and we can show it scientifically if you want, a trans person is born this way. This is not something they can help. But you're going to take a job away from them, even if they are literally the best of the best for that position, because they are trans.
Well, as far as the Earth is flat thing, people should be able to go around and say that it is, but they shouldn't be able to teach the Earth is flat to children.
Why not? That's their opinion.
Yeah, I actually had a really
So you think teachers should tell elementary school kids that the Earth is flat?
no, that's what
What
your
I said.
position would lead to, right? So I want to ask you is, do you think that parents should be able to stop their children learning about evolution?
No,
Why not?
because there's things that parents should have the right to do, and there's, some things that you can't.
Yeah, and why can't they have the right to not teach, have their children not learn about evolution?
Because that's part of the education system.
Right. And why can't they opt out of that?
Why can't they? Well, they could. They could pull their.
Do you think that that's what I asked you? Do you think that people should be allowed to stop their children learning about evolution?
Should they be able to stop it?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's something parents should be able to do.
Yeah, why not?
Because it's part of the education system.
What if they homeschool their children? Do you think that they should be allowed to just not teach? They just avoid anything about evolution?
Well, there's a curriculum for homeschooling, but
Wait, by this logic, hold on a second. If you so happen to live in one of the 8 states that teaches LGBTQ inclusive curriculum, then you would have to be okay with your child learning about trans people because it's in the curriculum.
Mm-hmm. He's just avoiding answering the question.
This is why it's irrational.
He knows that he's irrational. He knows that. That's why he's not actually answering the question.
are they? So yes, they would learn about it in school. That's fine, but they're not learning it at 4 years old, are they? They're not learning it at 6 years old, are they?
What if the curriculum says yes?
But they're learning it at a time
What if
where
the curriculum
kids are
said
ready.
it was?
but they're learning it at
What
a
if in the education system they were learning about it at 4 years old? It's in the
Well,
in the
you're
education
saying what
system.
if? You're saying what if? Do you actually know what the
Yeah,
age
do you
is?
know? No, I have no idea. Do you know what a hypothetical is though? What if it was?
Yeah,
Your logic says that if it's in the education at that age, then they don't have the right to pull them out of that.
no, they have the right to, but I don't think they should.
I've
Look,
literally asked you several times, do you think that parents should be able to do this? And you said no.
if it's taught in the curriculum when they're 4 years old, I don't agree with that. If it's taught in the system when they're 10 years old, that's fine. Do you see the difference?
No.
First off, every single one of us up here, I think, would agree that age appropriate teaching is always going to be the case.
Yeah.
So as far as curriculums go, I believe it's actually would be age 5 or 6, either kindergarten or first grade is when it's first dabbled on, because that's when kids have questions. Something like, yes, people can have two mommies, people can have two daddies, etc. As far as gender identity goes, if a child broaches the subject, even if they're 5 years old, they will get the most simplistic answer possible. And it
Yes,
most
that's a good
likely
thing.
will be brought to their parents so their parents can have a discussion with them. But as far as the question about the districts that are teaching the curriculum, gender identity is taught around 4th grade.
Yes, that's fine.
Which
But
means
4th grade is
trans people
different.
can be elementary school teachers. Yay! Look at that. We solved a problem.
Well, I still don't agree with that, but
What?
So
We almost got there, Artemis.
I've got a question for you. Do you
This
think
is so illogical.
do you think I'm rather articulate and I have a lot of patience, Jesus?
yes.
Just from the conversation.
Yeah.
So my original degree was to go into mathematics teaching, start at the elementary school level, and then I was going to do college level teaching. I
Yeah.
am a trans individual that did multiple sessions of shadowing a teacher in a classroom. Do you think I should not have been allowed to do that job so I could finish my degree?
Was in elementary.
Yeah, I taught shadowed first through third grade.
1st through 3rd. I don't think you shouldn't have not gotten your degree. I think it should have been in higher grades. But wait. Listen, you guys can disagree with my opinion. That's fine. You can make fun of my opinion, but I'm allowed to have my own opinion, and you need to respect other people's opinions as
I
well.
don't need to respect transphobic opinions.
No, we don't have to respect opinions. I don't know where this notion came from.
No, wait. You don't have to respect my opinion. You have to respect that I have my own opinion, and it's different than yours.
Wait, should
Okay,
we
great. That doesn't
respect
mean that I
all
have to be-
opinions?
Wait, sorry?
Should we respect all opinions?
I didn't say respect opinions. I said respect that people can have their own
Yeah.
opinions.
Should I respect that people can have
Should
their own
we
opinions?
respect the
that people are homophobic? Should I respect all of these types of opinions? Like the
You
people
should
can have them?
respect that they have their own opinion.
Yeah,
You don't have to agree with it.
We should respect individuals that have the opinion that it's justified to unalive someone. We should just respect those people that have those beliefs.
I didn't say people that have those beliefs. I said in people
You quite literally did.
respect
they
people
can have those beliefs, but yeah, I'm not gonna
that have different
respect.
beliefs. Yes.
Sure, you can have that belief, but your belief is transphobic.
Yeah, Jesus, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you respect Schmittler?
Well, Maki went there. I was about to go there.
No, I don't.
Okay, so then your what you just said is null and void.
Hold on, he just had his own opinions.
Well, actually, because I don't look. I don't. I don't.
Y'all, I can't.
I don't respect his opinion, and I don't respect him, but I respect that he was allowed to have his own opinion.
Okay, so we don't have to respect you
I
because
actually
of your
don't,
opinion.
because the fact that he was allowed to have that opinion
No,
led
I
to,
don't.
atrocities.
So I respect the freedom of speech.
That's
And
not what
says-
freedom of speech is. That's not what freedom of speech is.
No.
I love it when Americans don't know what freedom of speech is.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom of speech only protects you from the government. It does not protect you from the consequences of society.
Mm-hmm.
And even
Well,
our
actually,
government will
when
come
they're-
after you for certain forms of speech if they are harming people.
I mean,
when the
this is just
Declaration-
absurd at this point.
I
the
told you
Declaration
he's irrational.
when the
Right.
It's
Declaration of
absurd. It's just quite literally absurd.
No, freedom of
Wait,
speech
hold
literally
on.
applies to being
Oh,
allowed
give
to
me.
I want
criticize
to. I
the
want to
government.
hear which document he's about
I
to
was going to
quote.
say first and foremost, he's about to try and quote the Declaration of Independence. I'm very curious as a military veteran, how this is going to go. So I would
Mm-hmm.
love to hear this one.
Same.
So when the law of the right of freedom of speech was written,
Where is
it
that
was,
in the Declaration of Independence?
you can look it up, but can I finish?
Oh, I want you to look it up for me. If you're quoting the Declaration of Independence, I want to know what line it's in.
I think it's the Second Amendment.
There's an amendment in the Declaration of Independence?
That's really wild. When did that happen?
Right.
Well, I'm not actually American, but yeah, one of the documents.
What document?
I know that there's a right that says freedom of speech.
Okay,
Wait,
do you
are
know?
you Canadian? Are you Canadian?
No, I'm from Sweden.
Okay.
Well, really, Sweden.
You're from
Wow.
Sweden. I know for sure you don't have complete freedom of speech in Sweden.
Right.
Now, how'd you live in Sweden and be like this?
Right.
Well, actually, far right parties just got voted in Sweden, but
Did it?
That's unfortunate.
anyways, wait, sorry. Can I say
Also,
what I said?
RIP for Hungary as well.
Wait. Can I say what I said? I'm just saying when the freedom of speech was written, it was intended. Like it didn't mean just freedom from consequences from the government. It meant freedom of consequences, because people should have been like they wanted to be able to say what they could have said.
That is not what Sweden has. So first of all, I love that you said freedom of speech. Last time I checked, looking at it right here, it says freedom of expression. That's two different things.
Wait, are you
So
talking
where's
about
the-
Sweden?
Yeah, I'm looking at your
No, I'm saying about U.S.
Yeah, United States freedom of speech was not meant to be without consequences. If you said you're from Sweden, so I'm looking at what Sweden has. In the United States, no, there are consequences for freedom of speech if it is harmful.
Yeah.
And also that only protects you from the government. You know this thing called cancel culture, which by the way I don't think exists. But like if you say something out of pocket in public, and people go, "Wow, you're a horrible human being. I don't want to associate with you." That is a consequence to your freedom of speech. You can say it, sure, but that doesn't mean that you won't be isolated from the rest of society because you said it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, look at what happened to Mel Gibson. His freedom of speech really helped his career, didn't it? It did wonders for that man.
Also, did you make the claim when the Declaration, like in 1776, was being written? That
I said, like,
freedom of speech was in there during that time?
I said when they were writing it, they intended it to be freedom of consequences. Like, I mean, in reality, the law is like freedom from
It was about speaking against the government.
No,
It's literally about the government. I don't know how to
Hold
make
on.
this any clearer to you.
I just have to clarify about his own country because apparently he's not queued up. Sweden Democrats is a right-wing party in Sweden. That is correct. However, the party that has the most control in the Swedish government is the Swedish Social Democrats, which is a central-left democratic party in Sweden. That margin of having people in office is not. It's about 25-ish in one section and about 2 in the other. The center-left party is the one in the majority currently by far.
Just 1 second. I just want to make a quick disclaimer for those that would like to kick a guest. I am accepting $10 by PayPal, which is on my bio. We've moved from the galaxies, just in case for any guests that come up. You may proceed.
I have a quick question. Were you referencing the Sweden Democrats?
No, I was talking about America. I was talking about the U.S.
No. When you said in Sweden, you said far right.
Yep.
Are you talking about the Sweden Democrats?
There's a conservative party that just got voted in.
They're not conservative.
And
they're
in Germany.
center left.
And in
They're
Germany,
center
too.
left.
You
That's
said
the
they were
Swedish
far
Social
right.
Democratic Party.
Yeah, you didn't even say conservative. You said far right.
You said far right.
Sweden Democrats
Also-
is far right. Yes,
Yeah.
they are the second majority of the parliament in Sweden. The primary majority party is Swedish Social Democratic Party, also known as the Swedish Social Party, and they are center left.
But I think the same thing is happening in Germany. Something like
Yeah, no, there's a problem in Germany, all right. You want to talk about it? Because I don't think it's going to go the way you want it to go.
Mm-hmm. I'm aware of that.
I'm aware of that too, and the fact that that party is in particular interested in what the SD is doing.
What, do you think it's bad? What's
Yeah, I think Yahtzee's now coming back to 2024 is bad. Yeah, I think Yahtzee's on my 2024 bingo card is bad.
Yeah.
Do you not think that's a bad thing?
I think that's a bad thing. I never said that was a good thing.
But that's what you are literally talking about. People that literally said that the Yahtzees had good points. TikTok, educational purposes only, for the love of all that is holy. Because that's what those people stand for. You need to understand that the people who agree with that party literally want to go back to the 1930s.
Yep.
I didn't say they had good points, though. You're saying I said they had good points.
No, but these people are associated with people in your own government that want to do the same thing.
I don't think that's a good thing. I never said that was a good thing. What?
Then why are you bringing up these points then if they're counter to your argument?
Right.
My original argument was I want to protect my 4-year-old, but that kind of
from the fact that people are
What
not
specifically
the average
are you?
So it was when he first got
protecting
in here, Demi.
from?
Demi, he's protecting them from seeing people who don't
Yeah.
fit in the average.
By the way, to help you understand what I meant by why you're bringing these points up, it would be like randomly if I went, oh yeah, Trump's a terrible person, but like he really did good with Operational Warp Speed. Like, there's nothing to do with the
For real.
Like, that's what this
Yeah,
movie feels like to me.
I become it like Demi. He also said that he wouldn't like his 4-year-old child to see a cisgender woman who was like a bodybuilder.
On steroids.
How would you know if they were on steroids?
Because have you seen women on steroids? They're
I've also seen cisgender women who are bodybuilders that aren't on steroids, and both are very distinct looking.
But there's a difference between those two.
And how would you know? Unless you're testing people at the door.
No, I said wait. I mean, there's a difference between testosterone, like steroid takers, and non-steroid takers.
Tell me what the difference that you're going to see from looking at them fully clothed in a restroom would be. I mean, we already did this too.
Yeah.
A female bodybuilder who takes steroids versus one who doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you know the difference?
One is gonna typically have a significant more amount of muscle.
Not necessarily. No. Not
Yeah,
in all
not
cases,
No, but I said
and not in typical cases either.
Typically, though.
How are you going to know
Not in
just by
typical
looking?
cases.
Sorry.
You just see them in the bathroom. How are you going to know?
Wait, what was your question?
How are you going to know? Just by looking at them, just by passing them by.
That they're a bodybuilder?
That they're on steroids.
Yes.
Well, if they look like the Hulk, then obviously I'm gonna.
Have you seen the
Oh my God.
bodybuilders?
So if they have green skin, they're taking steroids. Is that what you're saying?
I just think that you haven't actually seen women bodybuilders that aren't on steroids because they're all jacked.
Yeah.
Do we need like pictures?
Apparently.
Like
we need visual aids.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Okay, great. Katie, you're on that. This is your talking point. And I also can't turn my camera on, so I am opted out of having that labor.
Out of your curiosity, Jesus, do you support the Sweden Democrats?
No, I mean I'm typically independent, central.
Okay, so you'd be more in line with the Social Democrats.
Yeah.
Okay. Central left. Okay, that's fine. I don't know how you're having these opinions as a central left, but okay.
Emily, can I please get the big screen real quick? Probably just for a second. I don't want to leave it up too long. TikTok educational purposes. Oh, it's cutting off most of it.
So why don't you find some other images that I'm looking at right now?
Huh?
What are you looking at?
Yeah, that's my
Like
question.
a woman on steroids. Woman on steroids.
Yeah. Why don't you just? That's irrelevant to the point. Why did I need to get you images if you're looking at stuff right now? Can you just look up female bodybuilders? Because that's what we're talking about right now.
Well, I don't. Yes, but one who is absolutely massive and creating unrealistic body types, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, I would say any bodybuilder, regardless even of gender, is creating unrealistic body types.
Yeah, there's several of the more old school bodybuilders, at least in the men's category. They've made commentary on how bodybuilding is nowadays. It was supposed to be originally just like, what does a perfect body sculpted of muscle look like? But nowadays it's just who can have the biggest proportions of whatever, and it's going beyond what the idealized body of like humanity of a body sculpted of muscle
Well,
can be. It's more monstrous in its perceptions now.
It's also that like being a bodybuilder, like if you look at like the men like Arnold Schwarzenegger and all those guys, they're like it's unhealthy to be that.
Right. So how would you
how this
feel
affects
about
your
your
4-year-old in the
child
bathroom.
seeing one of these bodybuilders in the
You're
bathroom?
finding so I found one that has like 20-inch biceps. So
Okay.
Oh, okay. The point here is that these people, you're not going to know if they're on. All of them display unrealistic body standards. Anyone who is a bodybuilder displays unrealistic body standards. Can your child? How do you feel like your child needs to be protected from seeing these people?
when they're 4 years old, yes.
Just
I
So when is your
Demi,
4-year-old
person's just
allowed to leave the
unhinged.
house?
That's what I said.
My
Can
4-year-old
I need
should
to ask
not be
this. I
leaving the
need to ask
house.
this. How do you feel about Barbies?
I think they're fine.
You don't have the opinion that it's unrealistic body standards?
I think that's a healthy body standard.
What? I'm
Barbie?
sorry.
Wait a minute. Do you know that it's like someone correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time I looked up on the statistics on females that were trying to achieve the quote Barbie standard, most of them were suffering from some type of eating disorder or
Eating
worse.
disorder and malnutrition, as well as bone disintegration. Like, yeah.
Wait.
But being
Also, what about people that have had like plastic surgery to like have a boob job or have butt implants? Do you think that they're like good body type as well?
There's no wonder you have a warped worldview. You think Barbie is a healthy body standard.
well, being a bodybuilder and being overweight is not a healthy body standard.
That's not what we're saying.
We're
You
asking
don't
about
understand
Barbie,
what
right? And I
healthy
brought
body
this up for a
is.
Neither
very
is
Yeah,
being
also,
40 pounds. Hold on, wait. Oh, sorry, host. I didn't hear you talking.
No, I just wanted to clarify because I don't think you even answered my question. I said, what about those that have like boob jobs and like butt implants? Like, are you gonna tell me that that's like the ideal body standard?
No. I said. Sorry,
Okay.
I thought I said.
Well,
But that would fall in line with the Barbie look, though.
Yeah.
I think people should aim to be healthy, and
Right. So is Barbie a good body standard?
I think Barbie's a healthy body standard. Like,
How is
No,
Barbie a
that
healthy body standard
Barbie
when
is healthy.
Barbie's waist would literally not be able to hold a rib cage?
the body standard for quote unquote Barbie, again, I said statistically, are suffering from eating disorders. The Barbie body standard is on average 30 to 40 pounds below the healthy weight for that individual.
I'm literally pulled up right here, actually, that Barbie, if as an adult, would be 100 pounds and 6 feet tall.
Jesus.
And she would also fall over because her
No,
She
no,
would
that's not
literally
healthy.
be.
Wait.
She would literally be in the last stages of like life at that
No, I'm not
point.
saying that's healthy, but like
But that's
Margot
that's
That's
what
Robbie.
the question that we're
is.
asking.
Margot Robbie.
What about Margot Robbie?
We're asking about Barbie
She
dolls.
played
Yeah,
Barbie.
not Margot
Wait,
Robbie.
hold on, dude. Do you
Not
think
Barbie.
Margot Robbie is Barbie, like, for real?
She played Barbie in the
you
movie.
know
Yeah, but
about
we're
She
Make
doesn't
her
have-
absolute
Barbie
Barbie.
type.
Oh my god.
I
Wait a
brought
minute.
this up for a very important reason.
Who
okay?
brought up if Barbie was a living person, what would that be? 6 foot tall, what?
6 foot
100
tall and
pounds.
100 pounds.
So I was right on point. The lowest weight a 6 foot female should be typically is 140, and that is the bottom. You should technically be about 152 pounds at that weight.
Yeah,
Or that
her-
height, excuse me.
Her
No,
proportions
wait, sorry.
are
I don't think
completely
that's
unrealistic.
a healthy body image. I was thinking of Margot Robbie, who
Right.
Then
I'm
why
asking
do you
about
bring
4-year-old.
up Barbie
Hold on, I'm sorry.
in the first
Please.
place?
I brought this up for a very important reason. Please. Okay. Now that you know that we're talking about Barbie dolls, and
No,
you
I
agree
would say
that this
that's
is
not.
yeah, it's not a healthy standard.
No.
Would you let your 4-year-old play with Barbies?
It's a toy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a toy that promotes unhealthy standards.
You're not even gonna guess what the reason I brought this up for is.
Well, actually, I wouldn't. By looking at Barbie,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really guess that she's anorexic, but I mean, sure.
Right. So
What
the
was the
reason I
reason?
bring this up is actually because this was a thing talked about by many, many adults. Many adults talked about how Barbie was a dangerous body standard for setting for young girls. Do you know what researchers actually found? Young girls only got the idea that they were supposed to aspire to look like Barbie when adults put it in their head. Because kids typically don't actually think when they see someone, I should aspire to be like that. It's usually when grown-ups push those things onto them that they start feeling that. So once again, how is your child just seeing a trans person going to affect them?
Also, can I just add, am I not, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Barbie have like no genitalia?
She has no genitalia.
So like, isn't Barbie then trans? So like, you're letting your child play with a
Barbie is
trans
not
Actually,
transgender.
in the Barbie movie,
model that you are so against.
well,
Barbie is
in
not
the Barbie movie, actually, it's made very clear that they are dolls and they have no concept of biological sex. They only have gender.
Barbie's
Also,
a
Ken
girl.
doesn't have his typically male bits either.
Okay, but you're okay with your child playing that, but doesn't that go against you? Like, they don't have the normal parts that typically you are looking for in terms of, like, biology-wise, because these dolls don't have any genitalia. But yet you would classify them as either women or men based
It's
on,
a
like,
realistic
typically what they look
standard.
like, but they have no genitalia.
So you're saying Barbie's not a woman?
Well, no, under your standards, it wouldn't, though, wouldn't it? Because it doesn't have any female genitalia. It has no genitalia.
Barbie's a woman.
This is
Why?
literally
But
wait,
under
hold on,
what
sorry.
under what
This is
context?
literally the
I
point.
thought you were classifying. I thought you were classifying what a woman was based on their genitalia.
But wait, this is great. Tell us how Barbie is a woman.
Tell me how she isn't.
Better yet, Barbie's
That's
a
not.
toy.
Emily just did though. Emily just did based on your
Well,
standards.
not only that, but hey Zeus, what's the definition of a woman? Because most people that make this argument only use one definition. What's the definition of a woman?
Someone who identifies as a woman.
Huh?
That's the definition you use?
If someone wants to be a woman, I'm not going to tell them they can't be a woman. But if my 4-year-old says
So
something,
even using
right.
your definition, somebody that quote wants to be a woman or identifies as a woman, Barbie's a toy, right?
Yeah, has Barbie ever
Since
said?
when can an inanimate object identify as a woman?
Has Barbie ever identified as anything other than a woman?
Barbie doesn't speak.
Do you know what inanimate means?
I
Inanimate.
love the Barbie movie so much because it's literally the entire point that the movie is making is that as much as the Barbies do not have sex characteristics, they do not have biological sex characteristics.
Well, in the movie, she
It's
refers
made
to
in the
herself as a girlfriend.
it's made in the movie. Barbie is like, I don't have a vagina. Right? TikTok educational purposes only, and we love the TikTok shop. It's amazing. Guys, check out TikTok shop.
You can buy rationality on the TikTok shop.
That point is made several times in the movie, but they still have gender. Like, I love the movie so much for that.
Okay. She's referred to as a girlfriend in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because they have gender, but they don't have biological sex because they are not biological creatures.
You are literally contradicting yourself because you cannot use genitalia as your like way to determine what's a man and a woman because you don't apply that in the context of these dolls which clearly have no genitalia, but you would still classify as being a woman or a man depending on whether it's Ken or Barbie. So like clearly
So are you
you're
saying,
looking at some other factors for you to determine what's a man and a woman.
So you're
And what
saying
is it?
so you're saying the Barbie movie isn't about women?
I think that you just pivoted from what I was talking about.
It's actually about many different things. It goes
Well,
beyond this.
actually,
It goes,
point.
yeah, it
the
goes
Barbie movie is about
beyond that.
women's life.
It also goes into the fact of also men should be freed from toxic masculinity and these preconceived notions of what it means to be a man or likable. I mean, have you even listened to the America Ferrero speech? That whole movie about how women must be all these things and not these other things to be a woman. At the end of the day, we're just so sick of it because none of that's what makes us a woman or makes us be. We are women because we are women. Like, I don't know how you missed the whole point of the film. I don't really know. And here's the thing: I've only watched
I
clips
just
of
can't
it.
believe that you think that it's an age appropriate thing for children when there's a trans woman in the movie.
There's no wait, is there a trans woman in the movie?
Yes.
You didn't even
There was an
notice.
entire uproar that a trans woman got to play one of the Barbies.
Oh shit!
But, dude, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Ben Shapiro went on a whole rant
Yeah,
about
Ben
this
Shapiro
one.
was really upset about that. Instead of being upset
like all the other
Who's the
female
other one?
Barbies.
The Ben Shapiro wannabe, the other guy.
oh, you mean Matt Walsh?
Yeah, Matt Walsh. Both
Yeah.
of them went on a tirade about it.
I actually wrote a love letter to Ben Shapiro about his opinion on it.
I
Because
would
of
love to
how
read that someday.
stupid it was. He literally said she's treated like all the other female Barbies. Again, not understanding the point. There is no biological sex. They are dolls.
Yeah, I feel like Ben Shapiro needs to worry less about Barbies and more about how his wife isn't happy with him when it comes to their intimacy. That's just me.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro, I don't like that guy.
Yeah, he just seems to be worried about the wrong things. And he will be the guy that'd be like, I never saw it coming.
I
Out of
think maybe
nowhere.
because he likes dolls too much that
He's
he doesn't
an
have time for his wife.
I don't know.
Wait
All
a
I know
minute.
is he's
Have
gonna
you
say it
seen
came
his
out of
new?
nowhere.
Have you seen Shapiro's new argument about the draft?
No, but I will say that there's a lawmaker trying to put that women should be mandated to be a part of the draft, and
Yeah,
Republicans are very
that's what
upset
he's
about
bitching.
it.
That's what he's crying about. And I think he went to his daughters and like, "Hey, would you go if you were drafted?" And they're like, "No, I don't have time for that. I do my nails." But less than 2 weeks before that video, I don't even know if they were LGBTQIA, but a man said, "Yeah, I don't have time for that. I have a life to live." And Shapiro made fun of them for saying that. So basically saying the same thing because he doesn't believe women can,
My
succeed
personal
in the
view,
military.
Demi, just as an aside for anyone that's curious, the reason I personally think that Republicans don't want women in the military for a ton of them, but my personal favorite I've thought of is the fact that you're technically having bodily autonomy to sign your body over to be property of the government. And I just think that they don't want to cross into that area where, like, suddenly women recognize that, oh, wait a second, you mean I do have control over what happens to my body? You mean I do have a right to an abortion?
I was gonna say maybe it's because they don't want women to have access to that kind of equipment.
No, they don't.
I think also a part of it is that if we say, yeah, let's go join them, they don't have an argument to use against us. When we say, oh, we men and women are equal, yeah, but you don't want to join the military, but we do though. We're more than welcome to.
I would
Like
say
if we do, they don't have an argument to use against us because we are willing to join the draft.
I would say just like men out there, there's women that want to join, and if they get drafted, they get drafted, and there's ones that don't. First and foremost, I do think both sexes, well, technically all three, if you want to bring intersex into it, but let's not get semantical about it. Yes, the draft should be, if you're going to reinstate something that I don't think ever needs to be reinstated, the draft came around for very specific reasons. If it was reinstated, yes, I do think men and women should have the capacity to be drafted.
Yeah.
Just like men and women are capable of signing up for the military. And lo and behold, women are better pew-pew shots than men are by about 3 to 5%.
That's true. I will throw out my quick opinion about. So, for anybody who has a disability rating with the VA, obviously we get paid a certain amount from the government, and that's just like the government realizing, oh hey, that's your body. Well, we broke it. Here you can have money as compensation for us breaking your body.
Maki, I've always looked at it as, oops, we broke our toy. Let's toss it some
No,
money.
literally. When my husband explained to me that if somebody was really, really pissed, wasn't it your sergeant, babe?
That it was like if you got a sunburn because you didn't put on sunscreen and your sergeant just didn't like you, that he could write you up for damaging of military equipment.
We had
This
two,
was the thing.
Artemis, we had two soldiers that were written up on Article 15s because their partner, whoever they were at the time, I think one yeah, it was one woman and one man. So their partners had left hickeys, tiny little almost invisible
Well,
hickeys. They got written up on Article 15.
well, it can't damage that military property. But going back to the crux of the argument, now that we had our fun ADHD tangent.
I just want to take the brief pause to say I'm so sorry. I know I'm being so aggressive today and also interrupting people a lot. I've had a really bad week, so I mean nothing by it, and just tell me to shut up if I need to.
Oh, you're good.
My answer at the end of the day is Jesus here said, I want people to be able to be who they are, but they're not allowed to have certain jobs because it may be around my kids. So in case there's a grocery store clerk or a teacher or just someone walking down the street, if you happen to be trans and you see me and my kid coming by, you go dive down a corner so my kid doesn't see you. That's what I got out of this whole conversation.
Yep.
No, I wouldn't. No.
Huh?
Well, wait, we shouldn't force your kid to see people.
Are you?
In other words,
No.
yes.
If I was walking down the street and someone walks by for like 2 seconds, but
God forbid they're washing their hands in the same bathroom.
But that's trauma, Jesus. You said that by seeing a trans person that you like experienced trauma.
I never said that.
Yeah, I asked you what the effect might be, and you said trauma.
And
I
you
said
also
that
said
might
you've
be.
seen it. Yeah, and
I
you've
didn't say
also seen it. So, did you experience trauma when you saw a trans person in the bathroom?
I didn't, but I also didn't see any at 4 years old.
So
You
oh my
probably
God.
did and just didn't recognize them because they're hard. We're hard to clock.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But if they were noticeable,
He's
then-
okay with people that fit his standards of masculinity and femininity, though.
No, he was kept in a dome like the Truman Show, and all he saw was picture perfect family households. Never
good
stood
movie.
outside of that
That's
dome.
such a good comparison, actually. That is what you want for your child, the Truman Show.
Yeah.
That's not what I want for my child, but
Clearly
I'm gonna protect my child and not let them go wherever they want and see whatever they want.
by hiding them in a dome like the Truman Show.
I'm very, very simple. I am all for you being an adult and protecting your child from actual harm. But the existence of trans people existing and maybe being in the workplace, specifically education, because that's what we were talking about, unless you can prove it's harming your child, it's just you not wanting your child to be around a trans person or an
4 years old.
LGBTQIA person.
At the end, it doesn't
Which is
matter.
transphobia.
You have to
Let's
explain.
be real about it.
Is just you have to substantiate why your 4-year-old seeing a trans person as a teacher is harmful. You can't
If
just
so,
substantiate at 4 years old. Why is that relevant?
As like a kindergarten teacher.
That would technically be pre-K, I think.
It'd be pre-K.
Pre-K. I don't. That's just not what I had. That's just not what I had, and that's
So
not what people
because
around
it's
me.
not what you had, it might cause trauma, but you can't explain why it might cause trauma.
No. I said earlier that I have one friend who had a bit of trauma from a bad experience.
Okay, so an anecdotal one-off.
You never brought that up. Hold on.
I did actually.
I did not hear that.
No, you said that you went to a Taco Bell and there was a trans person in the bathroom at the Taco Bell when you were like 10.
And it made you confused. That's what you said. And uncomfortable.
No, sorry. I'm pretty sure what I said also I had a friend who had an experience.
No, you
I
didn't
thought
bring
I
up your
did. Sorry if I
friend.
didn't.
No, you didn't bring up your friend at all.
Wait a minute.
Sorry,
I do got a question. So you said because it's not what you had. So if a child growing up was hit every time because that was, we'll say they were closer to my age, and hitting and smacking your child was quote unquote correct parenting. I'm not saying beating. Does that mean a parent can't evolve and understand that, hitting your child is not the correct way to discipline your child and teach them, because we have study after study to prove that? But because they grew up that way, they should, absolutely enforce that on their child and raise them the exact same way.
No, but they should have this disciplinary actions.
Yeah, I'm not trying to move into that topic.
But
What
no,
I'm
they should
talking
not
about.
hit. No, they should not hit them.
Cool. So just because you were raised one way by your parents, that doesn't mean you get to make the statement, well, it wasn't that way for me, so I'm not going to let my child near a LGBTQIA person because my parents wouldn't let me thought that LGBTQIA people were bad. That's my point. You have understanding. You have literally the internet at your fingertips. You can research and study all this. So like I said, protecting your child from somebody that is actually doing harm. If you can prove that that trans individual is doing something that is harmful in the school district, cool, report them because they're doing something wrong. And I would hope you do that for a trans person, a cis person. It doesn't matter because
Yeah.
that person's actually doing harm. But
Yeah.
if that person happens to be a trans person that is teaching the school curriculum and they're doing nothing harmful, then your statement goes out the window. Because you're not protecting them from anything, you're just being an ass.
Well, it depends on the age. Listen, that's my opinion. I don't
Why
expect you to
why
change it.
does the age matter? I've asked you that, and you haven't answered. Why does the age matter?
Because I think there's an age and time for everything.
I don't care what you think. I want you to tell me why, with proof, it is harmful, dependent on age.
I never said it's guaranteed to be harmful. I was fine, but
How could it be harmful?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Give us an example of how it could be harmful.
Well, like I said, I have one friend who had a bad experience, and he is.
What was the bad experience?
Sorry?
What was the bad experience?
Well, I'm not gonna tell his experience, but it was a bad encounter. I'll say.
So trust me, bro, fallacy.
So hold on. Is it that the person in question actually did something that made the experience bad?
Yes, but I know there's
Right. So that's not what we're talking about.
just
So your argument has just been about seeing a transgender person.
They didn't do anything bad, but they did something that they weren't comfortable with.
Okay.
And yeah, so they did do anything
Cool.
bad.
No.
It made
So
them
I don't know. Hold on. Sorry, Maki. I don't mean to cut you off, but I hate this argument. One person did one thing in one bad experience. Okay, I had a bad experience with a chihuahua that bit my finger. Should I now hate all chihuahuas and
No.
steer clear? Okay, then your
No.
point once again holds no validity due to the fact that you're literally trying to blame an entire community for one bad experience that a friend had. I'm
Here's
sorry your
my
friend had an awful experience. It could be the worst experience in the world, and I don't wish that upon anybody as somebody that has gone through awful experiences through both their childhood and their adulthood. But I don't get to blame everyone else. I don't get to say, "Oh, I wouldn't let somebody teach my 4-year-old or my 5-year-old," and I'm just going to use 5 because that's typically kindergarten age. My 5-year-old, and I would take them out of school. Like, sure, you're a parent, you can take them out of school for any reason, but understand that if your sole reason is because they're trans, you are literally going to be called transphobic because you have no validation or reasoning why besides they're trans. You
Can I
don't
counter
have
that?
a good reason.
To your argument about the chihuahua, if my cousin got bit by a dog, so let's say if I was a parent, I'll use chihuahuas again because chihuahuas are they can be pretty vicious. If my kid got attacked by a chihuahua, I wouldn't really want my kid going near other chihuahuas.
What if I had a bad experience with a cisgender woman?
Then it's well within your right to want to steer clear of them.
So I should stop my kid from having cisgender women in the bathroom?
No.
But that's
I'm
what
saying this.
you're saying. You don't want your kid in the bathroom with a transgender woman because your friend had a bad experience. Well, my friend had a bad experience with cisgender women. Now I don't want my female child to go into the women's bathroom because there might be cisgender women in them.
And that's fine for you to want that, but you're entitled to wanting what you want.
You don't see how that's a bit unhinged?
You're allowed to want what you want.
Yeah, you don't think that that would be probably detrimental to my child and their development and their engagement with society?
It might be, but that's what you want.
Yeah. You don't want the best for your kid then?
I do want the best for my kid, and that's why when they're 4 years old, I don't really want them to meet with anyone bad. And it's not just it's a
Transgender
rental
people
start
aren't
for
bad. That's the problem that you're not getting, is that you're saying that, oh, they might have a bad experience with a transgender person.
And
Sure,
I don't want
they
them to
might have a
that.
great experience with the transgender person.
You're stereotyping in like entire demographic. It's a bit gross.
Right. I just
That
want to
would be like.
reiterate. Go ahead,
Oh,
Demi.
go ahead, Maki. No, go.
All right, I just want to reiterate again for everyone. The guest has said they're not willing to. They're not here to change their opinion. So no matter how much logic and reasoning we throw at them, they're going to continue to live in their ignorance.
That's fine. Just I pray that they don't have any children.
Well, that's a pretty harsh thing to say, but
It's not harsh because I'm doing it for the safety of the child. I don't think that it's safe for a child to be brought up into a family with a mentality like that. You can think what you want, but the minute you start affecting somebody else like a child, that's when I have a problem. And right now, the way that your opinions are, it's going to be unsafe for minors.
What if your kid's trans, bro?
wait, sorry, I didn't hear that.
What if your kid's trans?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't like that, but I would still love them either way.
Bro.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, you're trans.
Again, don't have children.
Like I just say, like, it's a fact. Like
What's
I'm
wrong
not
with
even
what I
I'm not
said?
even
I
one
said-
that pulls out that word often because I know that people get defensive about it. But like this is just textbook transphobia. Like you
What's
have an
wrong with what I
aversion.
said? What's wrong with what I said? I want my. I'll say if I have a son, I want my son to find a wife. But if they become trans, that's fine, and
No
I'll
one
love them either way.
becomes trans.
Or is sorry, but I'm just saying, like.
Again, don't have children.
Can I ask you a question? Because I've actually had this conversation with my sister. There is only one, in my opinion, there is only one acceptable answer at this point, and I hate the "I will love my child no matter" or either way, because that context behind that can get very weird.
Mhm.
Why is there any reason you wouldn't want your child to be trans or part of the LGBTQIA? To me, there is one acceptable answer because I've had this conversation at length with my
So
sister.
valid. I understand. Yes, there is one acceptable answer. I agree.
What is that one acceptable answer?
Oh no, we'd like you to answer first.
I'd like your reasoning before I give you what I consider an acceptable answer. And this is an opinion. This is actually an opinion. And like I said, I've had this conversation with my sister.
Okay, so I'll say if I have a daughter and I want her to find a husband because I want that connection. Like, so my dad has a good relationship with my mom's dad, so father-in-law, and that's just most normal to me.
To me, that sounds like you're trying to live vicariously through your child. I'm not saying that's a bad answer. I'm not saying it's a great answer.
I'm not saying it's necessary, but it's the same. Like if my
No, I get what you were saying.
I want to form bonds with their partner.
I get that, but why can't you, if your child, and we're using trans for the example, who's to say that your, in this case, would be a trans man doesn't end up with a husband and you still get that connection? That's why I said that there, to me, I can break most of the answers down. There is one answer that I find to be very sound.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's a connection either way. But I also, what if like, okay, grandkids. I mean, I'm not going to tell my kid have kids or but
So
if they want to, they that's
a
another
major
factor.
I don't want to know, I don't know if I want to say majority because I haven't
Mm.
double checked the science recently, but if a trans man does not go through bottom surgery and talks with their doctors, there are many trans men that have been able to get pregnant
Mm-hmm.
because they were born with those parts. So once again, you could still have a grandkid that way. Also adoption, surrogacy, um,
Yes. Yeah.
IVF, all of these things exist. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to give you the answer that I've talked about with my sister because my sister's directly asked me. She goes, "Does it make me a bad person to not want my kids to be part of the LGBTQIA community?" I
Mm-hmm.
asked her, I said very specifically, "Why?" She goes, "Because I don't want my children to have to grow up and have a harder life than they would if they were just cis and hetero."
Yeah.
Because being in this community, again, why I can never see it as a choice, makes your life more difficult. Not that there's not cis hetero people that have a hard life. I'm not saying that. But it becomes compounded when you are part of this community. It was only, what, 2015 that gay marriage was legalized. Excuse me, GAY marriage was legalized. TikTok purposes, go to the TikTok store, you can get your license. It is still daily that people are beat up. There was a recently in the news a trans woman that did not want to cause issues, like was trying to listen to the quote outcry from females, and was using the men's restroom. She got jumped by three people and had her jaw broken. People in our community are still not safe. I believe it's still 38 states that the trans gay panic law, or not law, what is the word for it? Defense.
Yeah.
The GAY trans panic defense still exists. There are still places that are allowed to deny you service. There are places that can literally just kick you out of your housing if they find out that you are trans or part of the LGBTQIA. This is why I have specifically said I don't want my niece and nephew to be part of the community that I'm a part of. I really hope they are not part of this community, but that is for their ease of life and also their safety. These are the reasons that I would specifically love that my niece and nephew are not part of this community. But if they are part of this community, they will have unconditional support from both me, my sister, my parents, my husband. That's the difference. And that's why I say for me, that is the only acceptable answer is I don't want them to have the harder life on top of how hard life is in general.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
Yep, and same. Like, I hope that, maybe I won't see it in my lifetime. I probably won't, but I hope that there comes a time, and I fight for that time, where a community doesn't need to exist because we are treated like every single other, like, cisgendered person and heterosexual person out there. Like, that's what all of us are literally advocating for, is that we can get to a point to where there doesn't need to be this LGBTQIA community against, cisgendered heterosexual people. We want it to be everybody together, seen equal and valued as human beings. It seems to be the case that others don't want this to happen. I still don't understand why, because we're not doing anything. And that's why I will remind everyone again that I still find your reasoning to be irrational, is because a trans person using the restroom or merely existing in the world is not doing anything to you.
I do want to say something. Because we were talking about like discrimination and everything, that I think, I don't know if anyone's heard, but some positivity to go in that Thailand did legalize same-sex marriage recently. So that's something that I think that is good for us. I just thought that I'd put that out there.
Yeah, a couple of countries have finally passed it. Including Japan has done something for both marriage and done something for legally changing your gender marker in Japan. They made it so you don't have to jump through loopholes to do it anymore. So a
Really,
lot of
that's nice.
yeah, a lot of countries are really coming around and understanding this is not a choice we made. This is an existence that we were dealt from basically conception. We're just trying to live our life like anybody else.
Yep, I was about to say this is because we've learned and evolved with science, and we understand things with great, like more than my mother's generation did. And I've had the pleasure of being able to educate my mother on a bunch of things, and it's wonderful because she's like, this is different than I grew up, but that's not a bad thing. In fact, it's
But
wonderful because people are being accepted, and
look,
they should.
I want to give one really big prop out though. Hey, Zeus, I'm going to give you a huge prop right now, and the
Mhm.
panel can disagree with me at this point. I don't agree with your logic. I think you're arguing for the sake of arguing because you kind of just you have your opinion and you are not going to back down no matter what. And at the end of the day, there are just people like that. I'm not offended by it. I do these so that I can educate. But what I do want to give you props on is you are one of the most respectful opposition, at least since I've been up here. You're not interrupting, you're having a conversation. We may be completely disagreeing with what you're saying, but I found no disrespect in a direct manner to anyone on the panel. Would anyone disagree with me?
I know because before them was LMAO, and that was a whole other experience, Demi, that you should have
I
been
was
here
gonna
for.
bring it
Sad
up.
that I miss her.
Do you miss?
I was just
She'll
in
come
that
back.
kind of mood, you know?
She'll come back. She'll come back.
Well,
Don't.
thank you, Demi. By the way, thank you.
Yeah, you've been very respectful. I'm just here for a fight tonight, though. I have had a bad week.
I was gonna say
We
I
need
try very
LMAO to
hard
come
to
back.
leave. I was gonna say I try very hard to leave my shitty weeks off of TikTok because then it gets nowhere. But I understand that sentiment.
So do I.
Uh,
I absolutely do. That's why I liked LMAO, because she was only here for a fight, too, so it's all right.
Fair enough. But I would say at the end of the day, Jesus, and this applies to most, if not all of us have, I'm going to say it, all of us have something that we can unpack. I think you really need to unpack because every time you seem to like hit the nail on the head, you move your hand at the last minute and completely miss the nail. I would see if you can unpack the specific reason why you don't think a qualified trans or qualified LGBTQIA member is capable of teaching your child without being, quote, I'll use traumatic because that was the last word I heard. Um, and at the end of the day, it is your right as a parent to pull your child out of that school, but really think on why you're doing that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for also saying respectful. I try. Um, I mean, yeah, that's my opinion. I don't know why I have that. That's just how it is.
But that's what I'm saying is you're even stating it. You don't know why you have it. Do some introspection. That's the only thing I can request at this point.
And that's how I became a leftist. I didn't know why I held conservative viewpoints. I'm not even joking because I was raised in a conservative household. And I was like, why am I agreeing with this? This doesn't feel right. And then I was like, I'm going to read. I'm going to research. And here I am, a leftist.
Well, it is. My phone's about to die, so I do have to go. But thank you for having me on here as well,
Have a good one,
and for the
Jesus.
argument as well. Yeah, thank you guys. Bye.
If anyone can hear that, I apologize. That is my water filter, and I forgot to mute myself.
It's okay. It's lovely. It's like we're by a brook.
Here, I'll help you out.
One in the comments said I'm gonna read the last words of a right winger.
I'm not gonna lie, and I didn't get into this because I didn't know if I wanted to make this a religious conversation. But I wonder the reason why he's so fixed in his irrational opinion has to do because I think that he's got religious beliefs. He's Christian. Typically, what I find is when people come on and they have completely irrational beliefs and they have no logic, it stems from their belief in sort of like a god or religion. And he was a little hazy at the beginning, but I think if I were to press on him, I think it would come to realization that actually he's a Christian and believes in God, and that's why he holds these irrational beliefs. I didn't want to go too far into it. I didn't know if I wanted to make this a religious debate, but I did wonder after it just keep going nowhere and it being irrational that's why.
I mean, I think that there's many different things that were happening there. That's why, like, I just kept pointing out that these positions were not founded and were coming from an irrational position. It's because I would even say that when we talk to, like, Christians, that I would say a vast majority of Christians wouldn't even go as far as to say that their child cannot simply see a trans person in like the world. They would just be like, I just don't want them in the bathroom, or things like that. Like, that's why I was saying that, like, I think there was a lot more than just simply a Christian perspective.
I mean, I don't want to diagnose anyone, but I almost want to say it comes from a level of trauma. And only say that from going through many years of being with therapists and realizing a lot of my outdated beliefs that I've moved past, um, including internalized transphobia, comes from trauma growing up. It doesn't have to be like insane trauma, but people don't realize there's a lot of things that can just you can hold on to without realizing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody saw my comment but when he talked about wanting to have a good like relationship with like his hypothetical daughter's father. And
It wasn't even the father. It was with this hypothetical daughter's boyfriend or husband.
Okay. Oh, sorry, husband. I thought it was father because I couldn't say. Meanwhile, I called the cops on my father-in-law, so like I'm going great. I'm so sorry. You just don't mess with my man. I'm sorry. Like.
Sorry, I just good
Wait,
to know.
Artemis, I
Nobody
thought I had.
pissed off Artemis.
Wait a minute, Artemis. I thought I had the go-ahead to mess with your man.
That's different than me. Yes, and as long as he is consent. Hello? As much as you'd like to.
Oh, that's wild.
I'm sorry, it just hit midnight. I definitely had to make that comment. I'm sorry,
No,
Artemis.
you are fine, Demi. We can talk about that privately.
So, I am gonna get off now. I haven't been on long, but I'm gonna get off because I'm tired. But I should be back on again tomorrow, maybe like 8 p.m. Atlantic Canadian time. I'm gonna try to keep it that time. I don't know, but thank you for being here. I appreciate it. It's been some while. I'm gonna try and upload these again on my YouTube. So if you do want to go over it or do you want to go over the craziness, I'm gonna try and put them on my YouTube, which is in my link tree, which also has my Discord. It's the same name, Emily Talks. If you wanna look at me there. And I will see you
real quick,
again.
I'm sorry. Can we do a shameless plug for Katie real quick because Katie does not have a flat behind. If everybody would go over to Katie's profile and see their amazing pole dancing, please do that.
Yes,
there you go.
Absolutely.
Do that.
Emily, can I take 2 seconds to apologize to those that may be my followers also?
Go ahead.
So, if you're one of my followers and you expected a live today, I absolutely apologize. I didn't realize I had back-to-back appointments, and my first appointment took 3 hours and went straight into my second appointment, so I was unable to go live today. I'm glad Emily was so kind to let me up on this panel because I absolutely planned on going live. I will be live on Wednesday, and I may do an extra one tomorrow, although Zib has appointments. If I don't do it tomorrow, I will give you an extra one on Thursday. Thank you.
Tomorrow.
And is anyone else want to say anything before I end?
W Emily.
Yeah, W
Yep,
Emily.
W Emily.
Absolutely, W Emily.
Oh, thank you.
Live.
Yeah, I will try and be on again tomorrow. I feel like it's been a bit difficult with my sort of mental health. I haven't had a lot of energy to go live. I kind of mustered my way up to do this live today, so hopefully my energy levels will be somewhat okay tomorrow to again do maybe another couple of hours. So hopefully I'll see you at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. 8 a.m. 8 p.m.
Can I ask one more favor? I'm so sorry. Al wants to come up and apologize for what he said.
All right, okay. I'll let you off quick, Al, and then I gotta get off.
I want to give him that opportunity.
Go ahead.
Hey, okay, so yeah, that was super uncalled for, and I'm sorry for saying something like that in your live. I am hella PMSy, and it's been a rough week, so I just wanted to come up and apologize to all the panelists and you, of course. And then I don't know if Jesus is still in there, but yeah, I shouldn't have said that, and I've put my leash back on, so.
Well, thank you. You're good, Al. You're good, Al. I appreciate that.
And that's amazing because so many people make those comments out of anger or whatever, and then they do nothing. So
Yeah.
I, for one, think that is amazing that you took the time to come back and apologize for that. If I was snippy when I called it out, I didn't even know who said it. I do apologize about that. But I
No,
am very
no,
tired of. I am
honestly,
very
I
tired of.
appreciate you, Demi,
Oh, sorry.
because, no, sorry, I appreciate you. You know, I did say it in just frustration at that point, and again, the female parts of me are not very happy with me today, so I'm a little bit emotional. So I'm snippy with a bunch of people, and it just kind of came out in the live. But I do apologize, and it was very inappropriate. So.
It happens, but you are being the bigger man and absolutely coming up and apologize. But I've seen it in too many lives where people sink to the level that we call out and we make fun of all the time. So that was where I came from, of going, nope, we don't do that.
Yeah,
So
and
I really appreciate the apology. Thank you.
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
no
you.
worries. Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you,
Have a good
Al.
night. W
W
me.
Al. W
Hey,
everyone.
Maddie.
I shall see you here again. I
And
feel like the algorithm picked up a little bit. I feel like last week was really
Yeah.
bad. So
yeah,
hopefully this year is picking up just a little bit. So hopefully tomorrow it will pick up again. Sorry, Maki, did you want to say something real quick?
yeah. I just wanted to say thank you for showing up yesterday, and that
Oh,
your voice is appreciated.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
We
It
try to do
was emotional for me because I'm going through some mental health. So I was like, yo, I don't know
Hmm.
if I should go up or go not, but I tried. Um, But anyway, I do appreciate you coming here. I appreciate everybody being here. You guys are awesome. I should be here again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Atlantic Community Time. Make sure you check that out, and also check out my YouTube and everything else. You know where to go. Anyway, I love you all. Have a good night.